And welcome to Boisterous Beer Banter, which is under the Shootin' the Shit production. And I am here with the one and only Thomas Metal 75, the man who founded, not that he ever lost it, he founded Massachusetts Beer Review, and he's the original founder of Wildcard Wednesdays. Thomas
by name, yes, sir.
Eric, nice to have you with you. And we have Damian Owens, my co-host, when we do progressive discussions. Comrade Damian Owens is here. Howdy. Okay, now let me go get a beverage. Let me get something to drink.
Okay.
And I will be back in a flash. And then you guys could talk about whatever you want to talk about.
Everybody live. All right, we're live. We are live.
Yes, we live. Woo, speaking
I'm
of
drinking this. The website would tell me, but the can is. It's 4.4% alcohol by volume, and it's 130 calories, 10 grams of carbs, and 1 protein gram. From New Belgium. Mountain Time Premium Lager. I guess that's another trend that goes on in craft beer. Is a lot of the craft breweries putting out their own premium style lager beers.
Well, I mean, I can understand why. I mean, you know, an above premium beer would be all malt. So I assume with New Belgium, it's just water, malt, yeast, and hops. No corn or rice adjunct. I mean, well, that's what we're going to do. More power to them. I mean, now I've got my tax return. I'm going to do my own home brewing, and I'm going to produce a regular beer, all malt. Not necessarily because I'm opposed to the idea of corn and rice being used in beers. It's just I want to keep my beers straightforward and simple, but I want to get the most amount of flavor out of my beers with the malts, the yeast, and the hops that I use. I just want to keep it straightforward, simple, to the point, use the KISS approach.
Keep it simple, stupid. Yeah, this is all malt. Pale and Pilsner malts featuring Nugget, Willamette, and Cascade hops. IBUs, forget about it. They don't tell you. But I'm liking this one. I'm getting a little bit of honey-like sweetness to it. Definitely that pale Pilsner, crackery kind of a malt. It's kind of got the graininess almost that's reminding me of Miller High Life or something along those lines. Not extremely hoppy. I guess it would be maybe somewhere in the 20s of the IBUs. Kind of florally, kind of a little bit grassy. Very clean though. But definitely white bready, pale Pilsner, that crackery malt. Crisp, clean, ultra refreshing on the high side of light. Maybe a touch of lemoniness to it, but I think if you like more of a maltier beer and something like a Miller High Life or something along the lines of the American adjunct lagers or the pale lagers that aren't too adjuncty or doesn't have a lot of that cooked vegetal kind of a note that you get from corn adjunct beers, then this one is pretty good. I'll sip on it, and if we talk about ratings, I'll let you know what I think. But so far, I like that. Cheers.
Sounds like something I would like. Just sounds like just a, regular old beer without adjunct.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. I mean, nothing wrong with just regular old beers.
Not when it's done right, no.
Okay.
If it's done right.
All right, people. I have here what I brought on Fandango Friday. I have Golden Monkey, that funky monkey, of Victory Brewing Company, and it's 9.5 alcohol by volume. It is a triple Belgian ale with flavorings, citrus and clove, and I had the website up before, but anyway, citrus and clove and orange, and I said that already. Citrus, clove, and banana. That's what they added, according to the website. But they have a huge product line. This company, Victory Brewing. I was very impressed, and Eric of Thomas Metal 75 is very familiar with this company. So, Golden Monkey, that funky monkey. And I'm going to pour it. It's,
Yeah, they got a whole. You probably heard me typing for days there. They got we said Victory, right? They got a whole line of these of the monkey, if you will, series, and they are Belgian trip L's, so they have a lot higher of an ABV content, but they're still going to be like you saw with, or like you're seeing, it has more of that golden color to it. It doesn't have like the dark malts in it, and it's going to have a little bit of that Belgian yeast essence to it, and some of, depending on the brewery and how they brew it, a lot of brewers like to use Belgian candied sugar in their beers, but I'm not sure about the Golden Monkey.
Well, the hops it says Pilsner hops.
Yep, or Pilsner malt. Yep.
Malt. I'm sorry. Yeah, and the hops was it was a word with
Tetning.
Yeah, that's it.
I'm on that website. Yeah, so they make that version, the 9.5%. They do a sour monkey, which obviously they're using a sour yeast strain in that one, and they got a twisted monkey, which is the same beer that you're drinking, but with mangoes added.
Ooh,
there you go.
They have a really big product line.
Yeah,
very impressed. And but it's light, but it's very flavorful, and it's something you can drink often. It's I found it to be very unique. Like I was telling you about the Lucky Buddha beer.
Yeah.
Where every bottle, I didn't get a chance to tell Damian Owens, but every green bottle, like a jade green, is shaped like the Buddha with the big belly on the bottom part of the bottle. Is the smiling Buddha statue. I'm not sure where it's from. It was next to Qingdao, so I imagine it's Chinese, but I did not look it up online to verify.
I think it is.
Yeah. So
yeah, I've had Lucky Buddha before. I think it's really good, to be honest.
I'll have to look into it. It's definitely a very unique beer in terms of its presentation. But they use the word mystical with the Victory Brewery, and probably has to do with the spices and fruits that are used. Not to mention their artwork. And they have a very interesting YouTube video on their brewery, which is on the website, on that page. If you have it in front of you, Eric.
Yeah.
Gary, I got one of those Mass drop CTRL mechanical keyboards with their Halo clear switches off of eBay.
Maybe
Cool
I,
keyboard.
yeah, keyboard. Yeah, new acquired stuff. Oh yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Ooh.
And it can go to, I don't know if anybody cares about
wireless,
any
right?
crap like that. It breathes, people. Ooh, wait a minute. Oh, there it goes. Oh, ooh. Too expensive for a keyboard, but it was the right price. Anyways, technological things.
Great for the
Right.
gadget lovers.
Ooh, yeah, I feel like the feeling of old school keyboards. Yes, websites. You want me to go to a certain website for you, Mister?
Yeah, what was it about the monkey? Oh, the YouTube video explaining the entire brewery. I don't know.
Let me see if I can find that.
Yeah, it's right on the front page of the Victory Brewing website. Mr. Owens is a gaming enthusiast, and he has a YouTube channel all about his gaming, which is what is it, Metal Rocker something or other.
Metal Rocker 94, yeah.
Metal Rocker 94.
Yeah, I've been doing the Halo Reach campaign playthrough, which is kind of made me annoyed because I paid $40 for the Halo Master Chief Collection on PC to only have one fucking game right now. None of the other Halo games are available right now besides Reach.
Huh.
So yeah, that's very highly irritating me. But yes, I've got my gaming channel and I've got my review channel back up again. So that's been doing pretty well. I've been doing some macros. I've been doing some craft reviews as well. But tonight I'm not having a craft beer. It's been a long, stressful week, so I just want a beer to drink, not really more or less. Think on. That's why I picked up some Keystone Ice. So, got this in a 15 pack. So, Tennessee beer prices are definitely much less to be desired because us Tennesseans, we love to drink and they're going to milk every penny they can out of it for revenue. So, this 15 pack was $11.97.
Nice.
Yes, $11.97 for a 15 pack.
All right.
So, a quick history about this beer. So, this beer was introduced in 1994 by the Coors Brewing Company, not the Stone Brewing Company, as
Not
people
to
want
be
to implicate.
confused with the beer company that's now suing.
Yes, and I'll touch on that here in just a moment. But what makes this one unique is down here in the very fine print, it says ale. Is Keystone Ice an actual ice brewed ale? If logic were to actually be logic and apply the way it's supposed to, you would think as an ale it's supposed to do better as it warms, but in reality it does not. So it's a 5.9% ice beer, as most ice beers are. It's 145 calories. The ingredients, it's water, barley malt, corn syrup, yeast, and hop extract. So let's just go ahead and crack this open, see what it's like. Some smoke shot of the can. That's promising. So let's see what we got here. I've already had a couple.
I think the main reasoning they have to have in certain parts of the country, you have to have, now my beer doesn't say that, it's not a higher ABV beer, quote unquote. I think the main reasoning you have to have ale listed on the can, especially in the good old state of Texas, is because similar to malt liquors, there are a lot of places in the country that don't allow for whatever their denomination is. They don't allow for a certain amount of ABV to be called and be marketed as a beer. But you can call it an ale, which lawmakers forget that an ale is a beer. So I don't know why they think they're skirting, but that's why you will find a lager that can say ale on it.
Right. Well, I know what you're talking about, but I've looked at other older can designs, and even back to the original 94 design, it says ale. So is this an ice brewed ale? Well, let's put it through the rudimentary test. So it had a thicker head, but it's clear. It's a light golden straw color. Had a much thicker white head, but I mean the head dissipated rather quickly. So I mean for the style, it fits it perfectly. So let's just go ahead and go with the aroma. So it just smells like beer. It is definitely malty, grainy, little white bread crust. There is a little hop action going on here, but it's very, very slight. And there is like a little banana or clove, which is kind of odd and particular, which I know sometimes you detect that with like Belgian ale yeast, but
Yep.
let's see here. I mean, this can has been sitting out, so I'll let it warm as if it were an ale. So let's put it through the rudimentary test of an ale. So cheers.
Letting it warm like an ale. I don't know. Wow. Okay. All
And we're
right.
doing this as a test to see if it really is an ale.
I say bullshit that's an ale, but I'm scrolling through the website that might have some Keystone information on it, and I will get back to you on that.
Yeah, well, I definitely get the clove and citrus from this. I mean, but Keystone?
Yes, Keystone. Okay, so up front, you get some good malt sweetness. And then in the middle, there's a little corniness, very slight. It's not really as adjunct forward as some of your just regular old beers are. Then there's also a little breadiness, like some white bread crust in the middle. Then in the end, there is some hop action going on, but it's very slight. It's mostly there just to balance out everything else. But it is very crisp, clean, refreshing. It is super dry, and the drinkability is, well, very high with this one.
Astronomically high.
Yeah, and the body and mouthfeel are definitely light. Not light to medium, more on the light side. There's no wateriness with this one. Now, if you drink Keystone Light, if you can find the Keystone Premium, definitely there's going to be a lot more wateriness with this one. But with this being ice beer, you know, a lot of the water is removed from the brewing process, and you have the same alcohol by volume, just more concentrated. So you get more of what the beer is supposed to taste like. And I also posted a video in Everything is Food as to, you know, if you make an ice beer in a craft style, how it can be done. So it's not done just to, you know, make cheap, shitty swill higher in ABV, as some people want to say. No, it actually has a craft basis to it. So, how would I rate this? Well, there is banana and clove, but even though it's in the aroma, it presents itself in the aftertaste of the beer. And also, there is a little undertaste of alcohol, very, very slight, but it is there. But it is one of the better ice beers out there. I mean, it's one that's withstood the test of time. I mean, hell, now it's been out 25, almost 26 years. So what does that tell you? So I give it a 95 out of 100, a solid A for the style. Now, is it a lager or is it an ale? So I drunk the first two super cold and then relatively cold. Now, this one I want to say is about 40 degrees. And I got to say, this beer does the best between 35 and 40. When you hit 40 degrees, yeah, you get the flavor, but the flavor profile is definitely starting to decline. So with all that being said, this has got to be a lager because it does better cold. So if it is an actual ale, it has got to be one of the worst ales made out there because it fails the most basic rudimentary test of an ale. It gets better as it warms. So for a lager, definitely a solid A. Now, if it's an ale, I got to give it a 0 out of 100 just because it fails to even meet that basic criteria.
Huh.
Oh. Okay, we have a lot of science in our beer reviews on this show. We got two heavy hitters with us. You showed is that the beer or ale that you showed Jay and all of us on Fandango Friday, or is that
No, it's another. So the one that I had earlier was the Ranger from New Belgium. This is the Mountain Time. Comes from the same mixed variety 12-pack. They have Mountain Time Premium Lager, Ranger 6.5% IPA. They do their Amber Ale, which I think is 5.4, their Fat Tire, and then they do the 9% Voodoo Ranger Imperial IPA, which is
they make
our buddy from YouTube called Drunken One. If he wants to get crazy, you get a 6-pack of New Belgium Voodoo Imperial IPAs and drink them all in one night. Holy
yeah. I love Voodoo Ranger Imperial IPA. In fact, I did a video review of it. I gave it like a 91 out of 100.
So they make Fat Tire?
Yes, New Belgium. Yep.
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, I got Fat Tire.
Oh, yes.
How about that? Okay, cool. So, for those of you out there that don't know, Mr. Thomas Metal 75, Eric is not only a great acoustical guitar player, but he's also the drummer for Oxblood Forge. How is Oxblood Forge doing? What was the last gig? Salem, Massachusetts? The last gig.
Last gig we played was, I think it was a Friday night? Yeah, Friday, January 24th, and we actually opened for my brother's band, Thy Will Be Done. Not a very religious band, but they try to keep positive vibes going, because why the fuck not? It's better to be positive than to be angry and bitter and be fighting and bringing your problems into heavy metal. What the hell's the point of that?
Yeah, but how does heavy metal sound with positive lyrics? It's like rap music with
fun.
It's like somebody saying, "Well, I'm a Christian rapper," or "I'm a Christian."
I think the general. Well, they're. My brother gave me a T-shirt of his band a while back, less than a year ago, I guess. He had one lying around, and one of the phrases on the phrase on the back of it is "No one owes you anything." Oh boy,
sounds the same way.
Yeah, stuff like that. Yeah,
no one owes you anything. You hear that, multi-billionaire, top 1%?
But yeah, that was a good gig. That was very good. People were there, and it was a good time. They play very good. But we now are, as of the last 2 weeks, we are in the studio putting together a 6-song album EP release right now. I got all the drums done. We might have to go back and actually record one whole song again. Ooh, not pleased that we forgot the entire arrangement of one song. Uh-oh.
Hey, feel free to play a little Oxblood Forge, whatever you did.
But
whatever you've done recently.
So 6 on the album. I think we're going to do a digital release of a extremely classic, maybe underground in some regards, metal track from, I think, 1980. If anybody knows the band Angel Witch, there you go. So yeah, hopefully maybe July, I don't know, June, July, maybe something pops up out of that. We have my uncle. He runs B Fraunfelter Illustrations. He's out in California. We contacted him to do some album artwork. He gave us a little sketch of that, how that's going to turn out. And it's looking pretty good. You'll have to wait for that, people. Stay tuned for that.
All right. Sounds great. Are there any recent music videos that Oxblood has on YouTube?
Not yet, but we did get the recording engineer did take videos of each of us taking a during the recording process of each of the songs. So hopefully, if we can, maybe I can do it. I got some computer software and stuff. Maybe if we get some of the videos back, I can do some editing of that. Maybe put it out on YouTube once we get some more final mixes, and then we can nice it together. But yeah, music video would be nice. We've never done that yet. We've always wanted to do something like that. Maybe
does Oxblood Forge have a YouTube channel?
We don't unfortunately do a giant bunch on it, but we do. We're on Facebook. If you type in Oxblood Forge, we're on the Bandcamp. where you can buy and listen to our music. And if you go right on to good old YouTube, you can type in Oxblood Forge, and it's the first thing that pops up on the channel.
Okay, so they have the Oxblood Forge has a Facebook page where people can click like to, right? Correct? Am I
Put
correct?
that in the live chat. Yep.
Okay, but it's too much. In other words, they don't have enough to create a jam-packed Facebook. No, I'm sorry, a jam-packed YouTube channel yet.
Right. We are going
Enough.
to be working on that. I think that would be a good idea.
Okay.
Get our social media out there in all ways possible.
Oh, okay. So they definitely have the Facebook page, which is great. You know, I try to tell, like, I try to tell this particular person I know who is a famous dietitian and personal trainer. He did the Housewives of whatever, New Jersey, the Housewives it is, the Housewives. I try to explain to him, don't put all of your massive amount of promotional videos on your Facebook profile. Put them on your Facebook page and YouTube channel. I'm trying to tell him exposure. When it comes to exposure, YouTube channel is the place to jam all your promotional videos. You know, and the problem is, I joke around so much. A lot of the people I know can't distinguish taking me seriously from taking me otherwise. But I'm serious. You know, one of the tricks I have is I would promote things that I'm doing on very well established pages that have similar interests, where you have like-minded people on a very established page. Now all of a sudden you post your agenda on their page and other people go, oh, this is interesting, let me take a look at this. Oh wow, I'm going to click like to that. Boop. Or I'm going to join. Be a member or whatever. I'm just giving away a trick that I use to make my holistic health talk over 8,000 members from zero. I'm not zero, from one. Me. That's how I did it. Look for like-minded, well-established pages, and then just post your stuff on theirs. And then you get the body to come over, you know. So that's how you do it. But I love the kind of music Oxblood plays. Damian Owens knows I've been putting a lot of heavy metal on the New Age Mysticism Facebook page that I started.
Yeah, Nadu too.
Yeah, I've been putting a lot, and with articles and such, you know, other things. There's a guy, he's rather bizarre looking, but a lot of his videos are very deep and he makes a lot of sense. His name is Morgue, like, you know, a body in the morgue. And I try to post all of his videos on different subjects.
Right.
But
the Hyperion.
Huh?
Yeah, he's the one who says we are Hyperions.
Well, regardless what he says, he looks deep. He is deep. He looks bizarre.
Right.
And he's apple-lickable to the New Age Mysticism page. So, you know, in the world of pro wrestling, we call it fluff. You know, you add a lot of fluff to it. You get a little of this, a little of that, and it all, you know, it's like when you're gonna start brewing your own beer. You're gonna let it ferment and let it.
I so cannot wait to start brewing my own beer. I got my tax return. Already got the kit ready to pick out.
Here is the blessing for Damian Owens Home Brewing in northeastern Tennessee.
Yes. So cannot wait.
Here. Yes, and what better way to start than with basic beers, ales, porters, and stouts, and then once you feel you've mastered them, then you could throw a little cocoa powder and cinnamon into the stout mixture.
Right.
Little of this, little of that. Little huckleberries or whatever, dingleberry. I don't know, whatever you got.
Add dingleberries, please.
Dingleberries.
Shiitake mushroom, maitake, your take, whatever you want to put in there. Yeah, 8.5%. No wonder I'm getting a buzz. Okay. So anyway, I just like the way I know people could do podcasts on StreamYard. There's an app that I downloaded on that I got rid of because I thought I liked it, but this is the problem. It's called Anchor. It's a podcast app, but the problem is your guests have to download on Anchor also and create a profile. It's not fair. I like this because your guests don't have to join anything. They don't
want anything to do this. No.
They just click on that link. Hey, Michael Hill, where the hell are you? Hey, he wants to talk about the coronavirus. Here we got beer and rock and banter and fun. I don't want to talk about people dropping dead. That's we can do that Sunday night.
Hey.
Hi-oh. But anyway, yeah, what was I saying? Yeah, once he masters the home brewing, and now he's got a new job that he's getting established, but eventually he will. Damian Owens, then he's going to go for his diploma in tarot card reading, and he's going to be a master soothsayer, clairvoyant, whatever you want to call it. He's going to be like very diversified.
And going back to college.
And he's going to go back to college for political science or studying sociopaths or something of that nature.
Yeah, then go to law school.
And then after law school, then I will vote. Well, I can't because I'm not in Tennessee. Then all the left-wing people can vote for a true progressive in Damian Owens. Now, Thomas Metal.
Yeah.
It was really funny. It was funny, but it was educational.
Yeah.
During an off-the-air private hangout, Thomas Metal was teaching Michael Hilton. I still want to bang his sister, Paris Hilton, but he ain't hooking me up. You hear? You're not hooking me up. What's wrong with you, Hilton? Anyway, Eric was teaching him how to tune a guitar, his acoustical guitar, and he was given #1 professional lessons.
See, Mike already knew what he was doing, so I don't know how good my help was.
Yeah, he was going more, higher, but keep on going. Keep on going. Keep on going.
He just assumed tuning was just whatever it is after you pick it up after 2 years of not playing it.
Yeah, but he was happy at the end.
Yeah, because it sounded exactly the way he thought it would.
Yeah, and one time Eric gave me the full science college lecture on how to take care of pipes, as in pipe tobacco.
Mm-hmm.
And
pipe tobacco easy. Cigars, if you smoke the premium cigars, are a little more difficult with monitoring humidity, keeping humidity levels regulated, making sure they're at a ideal temperature level where they're not fluctuating. I mean, just as far as I don't have a jar in front of me, but keeping the pipe tobacco, as long as you have it in a airtight kind of a container and you keep it away from the light, it's pretty much going to keep for a while.
Let me ask you a question, Mr. Eric Thomas Metal 75, Love Potion number 9.
Yeah.
Is a humidor also Can a humidor also be used for pipe tobacco as well as cigars?
I would tend to shy away from using the humidor for the pipe tobacco. It does. I mean, it wants to be moist, but the pipe tobacco, but it doesn't. It doesn't want. You don't want to make it that moist and that saturated. Not saturated, but you don't want that much humidity into it, because if it gets that humid like a cigar will, that's just gonna be hard to actually burn and keep lit in a place.
Because I'm thinking of like a Cavendish, like a Captain Black that tends to be very moist. That's what.
Yeah, so it's hard if you don't open if you open a package, or you open a tin or whatever it is, the bulk container, and you don't immediately put it in some kind of an airtight container, it's gonna start to dry out within a matter of days. And I mean, there are certain things you can do to try to bring this tobacco back to life. If it's flavored stuff, kind of similar to what you're talking about, it's going to be harder, or basically nearly impossible, if you start to dry out tobacco that's flavored, to get any of that flavoring back. So some people say you can get a bowl and you can put some apple slices in the bowl and cover it and leave it for a day or 2 or 3, and it's going to rehydrate, maybe. But I think that if anything, you're just going to impart flavors of that apple into whatever you just did. So if that's not what you want, don't do that. My probably recommendation, which I should have done a couple of times and never have, is to put it in a bowl or something and get like a damp paper towel or whatever, and put that over the top of the bowl. Maybe put a little rubber band on it and check on it periodically for a couple of days. If it needs to get a little bit more hydrated, hydrate it, and then just kind of fluff it. Maybe that'll bring it back to life a little bit, just to try to introduce moisture. And then when it is at the right, I don't know, consistency or texture, then put it back into your jar or whatever, and keep it from getting air into it, because the more time you have the air involved in that pipe tobacco, the more it's going to dry out. So even every single time you open it, just to get some tobacco out, it's gonna introduce that air that will minimally dry it out. But
well, I mean, a person can add just about any kind of flavoring they want to their pipe tobacco. They can put a couple shots of amaretto or frangelico, or whatever, hazelnut liqueur, whatever.
You don't want the tobacco to be wet. Now, probably the best application would be to put it in I don't know what you call it, like a garden, or like a cleaning agent kind of a spray bottle, and just spray the.
There you go.
You don't want to just. It's not like olive oil. You don't want to just drizzle the stuff on there.
The dollar stores sell those empty spray bottles.
Yep.
Little ones too that you can add.
Moist, not damp, and then again, fluff.
Yeah. Spray. Even it out. Mist. I'm sorry. Yeah, mist it.
You can buy stuff like, I'm trying to think of what's really cheap. I don't know if Captain Black's got a just plain tobacco, just natural tobacco flavor without any flavorings. But you can buy stuff like Prince Albert in a can.
Prince Albert is
or some of the, or I'm trying to remember another brand, but you can buy these old school brands that we've all heard about that are basically
Sir Walter Raleigh.
Yeah, that's the other one I was thinking of. Exactly. You can buy brands like that. Comes in big old tins for way too much money, but you can buy smaller containers that don't cost too much, that are just sort of little small, not hugely flavored tobaccos, and then you can play around with that at a cheap price with some flavorings.
Oh, Damien, where art thou?
Oh, no, he's not here.
I'm here. I'm just having my mic muted for right now.
Oh, what happened? Why do I have a splitting headache? Oh.
I'm here.
I like that. What Eric just showed.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that means you got a laceration on your smiling for, and you're happy about it.
Oh, that's better.
Oh, that I like. That I like. That's you in action during a gig.
That's me in the Salem location.
That is very nice. I like the
Okay.
light. I like the light.
That's not angry. That's intensity. Intensities.
Yeah, intensity is. You know, did I ever tell you about well, they weren't an indie band, but they were pretty damn good. Heavy metal cover band called Cooper's Dignity, and they're on Facebook, where the lead singer wore a pirate patch and he sang with an Italian chef puppet. He used a puppet.
Huh.
He,
Okay.
he was singing, but the puppet was up against the microphone, and it was fun.
Jesus.
He had a wooden spoon in his hand.
Huh. That must be a local area band from your area.
Yeah, it was real funny.
Huh. Cooper's Dignity.
Before they went on break, the puppet used to do insults at the audience, like Don Rickles. It was real funny. And with an Italian accent, and it really was a funny. It really was a funny gimmick. And I told the lead singer, what you're doing is unique. You're entertaining people with the sound of you guys being a heavy metal cover band, plus you're amusing them with this freaking Italian chef puppet.
They have a YouTube. They have a YouTube maybe. They have a Facebook page. I'm seeing some photos of this Italian.
Cooper's Dignity. That puppet is funny as hell, yeah. And he's got, and his hand makes the wooden spoon go up and down. It's because people like gimmicks. They do it in pro wrestling. They can definitely do it in rock.
Oh yeah.
We do it when we go live. I mean, we have little gimmicks that me and Damian Owens use occasionally. Damian froze a little bit.
Dude.
He froze up a little bit.
Yeah, I'm here. Just hang on.
Okay. Yes. So anyway, if there is a book, where will you and Oxblood Forge be next? What is the next gig?
The next gig is TBD as far as I know, based around the studio happening right now, recording that album. However, we are toying around with the idea of submitting our name to be at a local record store in the town of Warren, Rhode Island, and to hopefully maybe play live at Record Store Day.
Oh wow, that's
on Narragansett Bay.
Narragansett Bay, yes, by Newport, Rhode Island.
Oh yeah, Gary approves.
You know what? That was This show is becoming like the Twilight Zone. Because I see Damien down below, then I see Damien's face up above.
Yep. That's a face I make a lot of times. But no, we were having a little issue here. That's why I was trying to keep my mic muted so we weren't interrupting the flow of the show.
Gotcha.
So, well, all I gotta say is, I don't care who out there in the universe, in the Andromeda galaxy, the Milky Way galaxy. If my ex-wife wasn't my ex and she tried to open her big fucking mouth when I was on the air, believe me, I would solve that problem pronto.
It's not her. It's a little him issue.
Uppercut. You got to do what you got to do, man. Hey, I hurt myself.
Yeah, we told him, I told him I was doing a show, and I told him that, I would like some privacy and to not act this way, but does he listen? No, that's why, I wanted to just, be respectful, keep my mic muted, keep the camera on, so, we didn't interrupt the show.
No, what you do is, you mute the mic, you go to app, well, you don't have your avatar, you don't have an avatar, well, your game, let's say you did your avatar. You used to have that gaming avatar, the military one. But anyway,
Right.
You have your avatar, you mute the mic, and you go take care of business. It's like that's what I do. Like if I'm doing the show, Fandango Friday or Thundering Thursday, if I need to go to the bathroom or if I need to go in the kitchen, I just simply go boing.
Exactly, but I like when Eric did that did that screenshot. I mean, that's the face I tend to just generally have, no matter what it is I'm doing. So I mean, it's just like that's the epitome of me when I'm just out normally or just doing what it is I'm doing normally. Or even at work, that's my face a lot of times. I'm just like, I don't want to be here, but at the same time, I just want to get shit done so I can get the fuck on out of here in a decent time.
But that was like very surreal. That was like, that was really like, what? Wait a minute. Eric is up in that corner. Damien is down here. How could Damien be up there and down here?
I mean, I'm sorry about this. I'll just go ahead and I'll apologize now. And I had to grab another beer, but
no,
yeah.
there's nothing wrong with taking care of business if you mute your mic and your avatar. That's like, you can do what you got to do, and it's private. I was just concerned with. I thought maybe the talk about pipe tobacco care got you rubbed you the wrong way. I thought you were.
No, even though I'm a vapor, not a smoker. I'm just kind of like,
Oh, I don't smoke. I don't smoke a pipe anymore. It's been like decades, but. I enjoy. Oh, somebody's coming. Oh, it's Michael Hilton.
Mike.
Michael Hilton. Greetings.
Could you guys hear me?
Very quiet, Michael.
From San Francisco, California, Michael Hilton.
Oh, Eric can't hear me that well.
You gotta crank your microphone volume way up.
Damn.
Oh, you got the Apple. You're on the Apple. You're on the iPad.
Well,
that's Steve Jobs. You're lucky you're dead. He's on the iPad.
Hold on.
Yep. I have a lot of complaints about Apple products, but anyway, try to crank it up to the max. Crank it up there.
And let's get right side up, if that could be possible.
Listen to Damian Owens. He's a scientist about everything. Listen to him.
Gary. I mean, Damian.
And Eric got a new keyboard.
Woo! It's futuristic. Okay, whatever.
See that wireless keyboard? Oh, wait a minute.
Oh, there's a
right
back. Larry.
San Francisco, man. What kind of internet connections you guys got? You pay a lot of money in rent.
I guess up north we got better connection.
The Northeast, you can't beat the Northeast for street smarts, logic, common sense, intellect.
He'll come back.
And the old-fashioned bada bing when necessary.
I'm gonna drink another one.
Now everybody's got now.
August 22nd, 2019, brewed. Ooh, uh-oh.
I thought maybe when we do the political show, Ronnie S. pops on, Johnny Ringo comes.
Whoa.
Now we're doing beer. No, there he is. He's back.
Do that work.
All right, you're good. Anyway, Mr. Mike Hilton, I brought this from Victory Brewing, the Golden Monkey Triple Belgian Ale, 9.5 alcohol by volume.
It's a triple golden ale.
Well, it says Belgian ale, triple Belgian with flavoring with citrus, clove, and banana supposedly, and he and Mr. Eric Thomas Metal 75 brought a product that from a company that makes Fat Tire and Ranger.
Yeah, the New Belgium. I had their. I was just drinking their Mountain Time lager, premium lager. They say that seems to be a big trend in the craft beer. I'm gonna try another one here from Cisco Brewers. They were established in Nantucket. However, they're now bought out by the Craft Brew Alliance, which has some ownership from Anheuser-Busch. So, sort of crafty, sort of.
This is
owned. This is their
great friend of mine.
Yeah, Grey Lady. Grey Lady is a Belgian wit beer they make. Some of my ABV, a 4.0. So I did review on my channel, and this is what it looks like. It's brewed with spices and natural flavors.
Wow.
I mean, if you like the big smell of the coriander and wheat and lemony notes, and the peppery notes from a Belgian wit beer, you'll like this one. And this one has the most crazy looking, I don't know if you can see it on camera. It's got the most crazy looking, like cloudy murk to it. I mean, at the top of that is clouds. There's a cloud. There it is. That is nuts.
Wow.
Sitting in the middle there.
Look at that.
That's the weirdest thing.
Yeah. That's like the stuff I see on Paranormal Caught on Camera, man. Look at that.
Like an unfiltered lager?
Yeah. Plasm. Belgian style wit beer.
Looks like they dropped it in.
Unfiltered wheat beer?
Yeah, white ale. So like comparing it to Blue Moon is kind of the wrong way to go, but not as orangey. There is still a good orange flavor. I don't think they're using actual orange in this one, but way heavier on like the coriander kind of spice and some black pepper or some just like peppercorny spice. But yeah, if that's your thing in a Belgian style white beer, this one is definitely for you. If you want more of the, this is probably medium. Blue Moon's maybe a lighter bodied beer. So if you want more of the lighter bodied, and this one's kind of heavily carbonated. If you want less carbonation, more of a easier drinking beer, I guess, Blue Moon. But craftier product, sure. It just depends on your preference. Do you like a lot of spice and a lot of orange and a lot of that holiday fruits, cakey essence in the baking spice, or do you not? You have to choose, but this one's all right. It's still a B+ range. There's Donald Trump.
Oh, Donald Trump.
Don't worry about the coronavirus. It's like the common cold. It's like the regular influenza. Don't worry, it'll go away when the weather gets warm. It'll definitely go away. Ooh.
You know, certain Corona beer sales, that's for damn sure. Out of ignorance, out of pure ignorance, people are stopping their purchases of Corona.
Seriously?
Yep.
That's fucking.
Heard that restaurants are kind of, dead now too.
30, according to your area of the country, Michael Hilton, the local NBC channel is saying 38% of beer drinkers said that they would not, under any circumstances, buy Corona as the deadly virus continues to spread. And they surveyed more than 700 beer drinkers and 6 American beer drinkers, and 16% of those surveyed said that they were not sure whether the virus is related to Corona beer, while 14% of the respondents said they regularly consume Corona beer. Admitted in the survey they would not order it in public.
Are you kidding me? The same people who are, half the time just blasting other people a lot of the time for saying the wrong word in public. They can't tell that Corona beer is not Corona. It may harbor coronavirus, but that does not mean
the Mexicans are responsible for coronavirus, not Wuhan, China.
Well, I thought Donald Trump.
The China shot.
Trump blamed the Democrat. I thought he blamed the Democrats for coronavirus.
I have
Or
no-
Obama. Did he
Democrats
blame
are full of
Obama?
idiots.
No.
I would blame eating fruit bats and buying bald eagle frozen meat and $10.10 a pound koala bear meat.
Yeah, we'll eat
as
anything.
part of the issue without any regulation whatsoever. But that's just me. They call those wet markets. No, this is a adult show. Don't get silly here with me.
Well,
Wet markets. Ooh.
yeah, the fruit bat soup.
Ugh.
That's well, who knows? I mean,
Ooh.
you know what it could be? It could be the elitists trying to depopulate the surplus masses, so the natural resources can
You think so?
all theirs.
I don't know.
Anything's possible.
It's as insane as I saw an episode before I went to work of that Ancient Alien show, and they were talking about being able to find evidence of microbacteria that came off of comets that have actually fallen into the Earth. So there are people that speculate. Possibly, do you think possibly that extraterrestrials are putting the bacteria onto these comets and sending onto these outer space rocks and sending them to Earth to try to get a deadly virus started and to kill off the race and to kill off the human race? I'm like, that is just far fucking fetched. As much as people think that Corona beer started the coronavirus.
Oh my
But there's a reasoning why the coronavirus happened in a political sense, as you were saying there. That's insane in memory. As Cypress Hill once said.
Funny. What happened? Oh, there he is.
But everybody downstairs is like, woohoo, 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 woohoo.
I'm in the basement.
That is funny as hell. That only in America would they come up with something that asinine.
They can hear.
Uh,
Can hear Eric.
Well, they're trying to blame. They're trying to say that the
Eric
coronavirus
good, but James.
is trying to sneak across the border from Mexico. Is that what they're trying to say?
Dumbasses don't know the difference between Corona and coronavirus, and I think they need to stop drinking Corona immediately and watch maybe not even watch the news, but just to understand what's a little bit more of what's going on.
I think they need to stop.
That excuse not to drink Corona.
Yeah.
I think they need to stop inbreeding.
I don't know. No, not to hate on Corona.
In America.
Yeah.
They need to stop banging
All
their
people in my
cousins
life,
inbreeding.
but absolutely cannot freaking stand when people call and I'm using my phone. Oh, brother. Nuts.
Oh, you sound fine there, Mike Hilton.
Sorry about that, fellas. I'm back.
In a MSN article.
Hold on, let me get Damien.
Yeah.
Damien,
You're back. No, you're not.
Damien.
Yeah, sorry, fellas.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on for a second. Let me.
Shit-based beer banter and rock.
I'm trying to figure out.
We trying to get somebody?
No, I'm trying to. How do you?
There we go. I'm back.
Wait a minute. You're back, but I'm waiting for you to appear. There you go.
I'm here. Sorry, fellas. I'm back.
You just heard a absolutely hilarious, sad but true article that
Can't hear you, James.
about people in America avoiding Corona beer because they're afraid.
At least 14% of people that were polled in a study of 700 American beer drinkers, and this was an article from an NBC out in San Francisco that said 14% of those 700 people actually thought Corona beer was the cause of coronavirus. He can't even believe it. Like, damn. And in an article on MSN, Constellation Brands is the one that distributes the Corona throughout the United States, and I think they have an ownership from Anheuser-Busch. They are saying that Corona sales actually grew 5% in the United States in 4 weeks, but that ended on February 16th. They
What's
definitely
dumber?
dip, though.
Using Corona and Corona, or doing Corona, but then realizing there's coronavirus, and then saying, "Oh shit, I better not have this beer."
Yeah.
What's
Their
what's
stocks
dumber?
dropped 4% on Friday and 8% on Thursday, the Constellation brands. And there was another study that was, or what do you call it, a poll that was done, the study that was conducted by a group they say called 5W Public Relations. And they said that 38% of Americans would not buy Corona, quote, under any circumstances because of the outbreak. And then another 14% said that they wouldn't order the Corona in public.
Not the best beer in the world, but you're ordering it. You're not ordering it because of an outbreak. Don't you not order it a lot of the time? I mean,
true.
Corona's all right. It's an all right beer. It's just not. It's not a Presto.
It's on the earth shattering. Yeah.
Nah, fucking nah.
Yeah, but all these articles are basically saying the same thing. It says that people aren't going to be caught under any circumstances buying Corona, let alone in public, which I don't know how that's any different than any other normal day, like you were saying there, Michael. If they like it, they like it. And people are pretty brand loyal to things when it comes to just generic beers and sodas and whatever kind of hard liquor or vodkas they like to drink. They're just very this way, and they're just going to stay in their lane. I think for the most part, that's how typical drinker thinks. I could be wrong though, but that's how I think a lot of those people.
Yeah, because like I've got people at work who say they just like to drink Bud Light, Coors Light, Miller Lite. I'm just like,
that's fine.
Here's what I tell them. I say, I guarantee you in a blind taste test, you honestly could not tell the difference between Bud Light, Coors Light, and Miller Lite. I guarantee you probably would not. And I also have beer drinkers that, they say they drink Bud Light, but they would scoff at something like Natural Light or Busch. And I'm just like, I guarantee you in a blind fucking taste test, you would not be able to taste the difference. Like, oh, I'm not drinking that garbage. Bud Light's good. Natural Light and Busch Light, that stuff's garbage. I'm just like, yeah. I kind of just give them this look like, I have this look I can give people. I just tend to just look at them like this. Like, you have got to be such a fucking dumbass, don't you? Like, literally, even though I say a lot, I have expressions that just say it all. And my "you are such a dumbass" look is this. That's my "you are such a dumbass" look.
Oh boy.
Here's my what the fuck look like. If I do that, then I'm literally just like, what the actual fuck?
Yeah, that's funny. I always do. That's always mine. Eric, show us what you got.
I'm still drinking on
Cisco. This is
what's your what the fuck look?
That's the Belgian white beer. I forget what I rated that on. It's good. It's not like earth shattering or anything. Maybe gets an 87 out of 100 right now. I think there are definitely better versions of Belgian white beers. Wit beers go to Belgium. Yeah, that's all right.
Yeah, and then there's me who's just drinking Keystone Ice. Oh, speaking of that,
California, right? Stone Brewing Company.
Yeah, speaking of that, I hope Stone Brewing loses the lawsuit, because if you're going to have a lawsuit, okay, let's have something actually based in objective facts, not subjective facts, which is an oxymoron, and I hope people pick that up. But if we're going to have a lawsuit, let's actually base it off of something that actually has merit. I mean, I honestly never at one point has ever thought that Keystone Ice has ever been a product of the Stone Brewing Company, especially when there's a Coors Brewing Company embossed on the actual can. I mean, come on, people. I know we're here in America and our education system is not all that great, but let's at least have a little bit of common sense and some decency, and let's just use a little intelligence and a little logic here. I know it might be hard, but let's just at least make an effort.
The Cisco beer was a friend of mine. Yeah, I mean that was. I want to thank.
James, can't hear you, buddy.
I want to thank Eric for that story.
James, you're in the basement.
What's that, Mike? No, I just want to get another
Shit.
another golden monkey, that funky
Over.
monkey.
Whew.
What
Okay, everybody on the bottom panel keeps leaving. What the hell?
And Mike just made like a magician, and poof!
There was a guy before named Tall Paul or Paul Mall or
Paul.
he didn't want to show himself, and he had a real sad sack looking
Say what?
Hello Antarctica, a sad sack looking avatar, pathetic. Oh, that's Mike. He's Hello Antarctica. You know, I always liked the Emperor Penguins. I was always a big fan of the Emperor Penguins. Hey, how come Burgess Meredith used to sound like a duck when he played the Penguin on Batman? Remember? Quack, 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 quack.
I don't know. That was kind of a coronavirus. That was a coronavirus reference.
I tell you, if I were to build my wall, I know Damien does that. If I were to build my wall, you wouldn't have those corona beers, those infected corona beers coming across the border into America. Into America.
Do I sense a Donald Trump impersonation? I can take a hint. All right, what do you want me to do?
I want to talk about corona beers, banning them in my country, in my lily white country.
Yeah.
Okay, I will think of impersonation. Give me a moment.
Hey guys, check this out. Got a beer for you to review if you'd like.
What you got? What is it? Ooh,
Oh,
This is a look at
Say Perry
Stockyard oatmeal stout.
Oh,
And it's
that sounds good.
I think it's a Trader Joe's.
5.2% ABV. I did get this over at Trader Joe's. But
Aha!
it's from,
You
from
lucky.
Joseph Brown Brewing Company in San Jose, California.
The Trader Joe's by me
deliciously
doesn't have a
creamy
liquor
stout.
department.
It says a deliciously creamy stout. It says a deliciously creamy stout in the Irish tradition, with its rich tan head intact. This deep and dark colored beer has the aroma and flavor of chocolate roasted oats and coffee all derived from the specialty malts used in the brewing process. Now, 12 full 9-ounce bottle. You're getting a full bottle. You're not getting a partial bottle using Guinness glass.
Yeah.
I
know that's blasphemy, but just gotta do it.
I'm gonna write
Brown
such a
bottle.
nasty review for Trader Joe's. Why the hell can't they have a liquor department in New Jersey where there's a Trader Joe's in walking distance?
Californians are crazy.
No, we need a liquor department. That's a great product. Those rat bastards.
Well, Trader Joe's, I think it's just about how the Bay Area in general and California are a beer keg. You know,
No, they're advanced.
3-finger whitehead.
They're very progressive. Right.
3-finger tan whitehead. It's a progressively hoppy beer. It's dark. Batman black beer with the bubbles, dark, not rising. You might see them. A good glazing on the glass. Although it didn't chill the glass because just chilled the beer. Why chill the glass if you already chilled the beer? And then it looks, seeing a bit of a red hue at the bottom, so it's not a natural stout. Would say it's a stout.
Natural stout? You'll have to explain that later.
It means it doesn't have any fruit or additives. It just has,
Okay.
stout stuff.
Very
Natural
good.
stout. Yeah. It It looks low in body. Looks like a light beer. They are light beers. Aroma. The aroma could be a little bit more. Now it's creamy. It's a creamy aroma. I'm getting that. I'm getting some chocolate. We'll answer questions in a second. Or now or whatever. But yeah, the aroma needs a little bit of work. Actually, no, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Getting the aroma.
Losing my mind.
Cheers.
Hold on.
Presto. Fruit at the front. Good lacing, good seaside feel. Really like the vanilla on this. Really like the creaminess, man. Like the Irish feel of the beer. You know, it's really
Irish feel?
It has a slight red note. Look at James. It has a slight red note, so you're getting some, fruit on the beer. It's not completely natural, which is nice. I like it. I really like it. We'll give the score later. So
Nice.
we'll tell you guys more what I think. Coffee on a stout, kind of weird, but it kind of works for me.
The Irish feel. It's when I asked this girl I knew with red hair, are redheads really red all over? She says, well, James, you're just going to have to find out.
Ooh.
Good.
That's a good Irish feel. She was Irish, by the way.
It's good Irish comeback.
You got a David Copperfield.
Comeback, C-U-M. Oh.
Hmm.
But anyway, come back.
Hello,
So-
Gary. Gary, hello. Hello, Gary.
You know,
Who are these motherfuckers in my area talking
I'm here.
about
I'm just
Corona,
listening.
Coronavirus and Corona beer.
Good, Gary.
No.
you guys are lucky, man, to have Trader Joe's with a liquor department.
I thought that was like the crown jewel of Trader Joe's was the liquor department.
Well, it's not in New Jersey. It's not. Apparently, in San Francisco.
I found a lot of good beers at that Trader Joe's that one time I went in there in San Francisco. They had all the Russian River beers and they had like their sour beers. I'm like, holy crap. Could not just bring one back home on the plane because I would have had to have checked baggage. No.
I remember the village people singing San
You can't smuggle it.
San
It was right next to Anchor Brewing Company. I remember that. That was pretty cool.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We have Anchor. So if you're ever bored on a day off or something, there's Anchor Brewing.
They had a bar. I remember the one over by Anchor Brewing that Trader Joe's. Was it? No, not Trader Joe's. No, I apologize.
Cost
Not
Plus
Trader
World
Joe's. I'm
Market.
thinking of
Cost Plus World Market.
Whole Foods. I'm thinking of a Whole Foods. They got beer too. And this Whole Foods had a whole bar on the first level before you actually went upstairs to the actual shopping center.
What are we doing?
He's slapping his beard.
That's not a bar.
glass. I'm making believe I'm spanking a bare ass, barely legal chick. Beer.
Barely legal?
Barely legal beer.
James, you've been on Tinder a bit too much.
I hope not.
Tinder? I'm not on Tinder. I'm here on Tinder.
Tinder, Tumblr, yeah.
Oh,
Even though I'm 25, about to be 26 years old, I don't fool with social media. Yeah, that's my face a lot of times. Thank you, Eric. That is my face most of the time.
Well, you don't fool with it because you're betrothed. Is that the right word? Betrothed?
No, it's just
betrothed.
Remember that video I sent you of Ben and Elliot when he got the nipple cripple with like the fucking nipple clamps attached to his nipples on his nose because he got drunk?
You know what the ultimate nipple clamp is? Those office clips they sell. You know the big steel office clips.
Ow! That just hurts my nipples thinking about it.
They gotta hurt, man. Yeah,
they hurt.
Have you ever seen this Japanese girl in that does porno movies with gigantic, thick, long like nipples? They look like Purdue oven stuffer roaster thermometers that come out of the chicken. I mean, much bigger actually. They're huge, and which is like freaky for an Asian girl because Asian women are not big, but these were gigantic nipples. But yeah, the clamps, it depends on the
Asian women are small.
it depends on the nipple as far as
Tiny.
being able to accommodate such a clamp.
I mean, I have accidentally taken those little office clamps you were talking about, and I've pinched my finger with those sumbitches. They hurt.
Yeah, but there are S&M fetish people that
What are you talking about? Office clamp nipples?
they like that. They like that pain. Now, Mister, speaking of women that like pain, freakazoid women, Eric, Oxblood Forge. You get a lot of groupies in heavy metal that are freaks.
Not with that man. No, not really.
They're freaks. You don't get no freak groupies running up to you.
No.
Say, rape us on stage, please. Rape us on stage. You don't get that?
Zero of that. No.
Nah, you'll get it. Don't worry. You'll get it soon.
And if I've been playing drums for 20 years and I'm supposed to expect that, I've been doing something wrong.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Something. You know what?
Uh-oh.
You just ain't gigging right.
I got to read one of those Michael Hilton. 1% of all guys, 3% are over. Do things right.
This is worthy of a show.
I've
You've been playing drums in a heavy metal band for 20 years.
Of what?
been playing the drums for the last 20 years, not in this band. No.
No, but you play guitar also, and you don't have groupies, like young groupies, just like taking their top off and their panties.
No, I don't play.
Do me in public. Do me
I
right
don't play
here.
music that sounds like Justin Bieber or Billy.
Yeah, Justin Bieber, yeah.
Oh, that little.
Billy Eyelash who goes into the Grammys and wins 7 of them. Like, what the hell for? It's just, I'm
Best thing I ever seen
like,
concerning
you're whining, you little bastard. What the hell are you winning all these Grammys for?
when the monster Chihulu on South Park tore his head off. He tore Justin Bieber's head off. That's the best thing I ever seen about concerning Justin Bieber.
Ooh.
Thank you, Eric.
Twilight Zone, do that again. Look.
Okay, if you really want to see my typical face, this is my typical face a lot of times. Okay.
You want to see my typical face sometimes?
That's a good poker face. I hope that guitar is tuned from the last time Eric taught you how to tune the guitar.
Now this is my fuck that look. It's my what the fuck, James look. Oh yeah.
I hope you took good instructions from Thomas Metal Eric 75.
Those were very good instructions. Those were very good.
Man.
No, not me. I'm just fucking around. All good.
Oh, I thought you were gonna play something.
Oh.
I'll play. You guys talk, and I'll talk while playing if I can.
Yeah, we need Eruption by Van Halen. Oh.
Eric's face. Play that.
Craft beer, take either one. Never fear, you will be totally entertained and educated on our shows. We have no rules, by the way. Unlike Jay Terrio.
Oh, wait a minute. We're bringing him into the alpha. Okay.
It's late at night. It's after dark.
Yes, it is.
That's why I'm wearing this hat.
We're all a party of one, but a party of four.
That's right. Where out there in cyberspace are you going to get educated and entertained at the same time at the magnitude that we provide here on Shootin' Shit?
No way.
No way. Boisterous.
Everything's restricted, man. I don't know.
No.
Yeah.
No, there's absolutely no rules. Actually, if a chick came on and decided she wanted to take her top off, I would let her.
You would entertain that idea?
Yes. So, speaking of very cool and interesting things, so I told one of my friends that also is into beer. I mean, he just kind of just drinks beer, casual fun, just experiments, tries to whatever. I mean, he's not a severe beer enthusiast, but I mean, he does like to try the different things out there. So he told me he wants to do a collaboration beer in terms of me brewing a beer. So here's what he wants me to brew. So he said he wants me to brew a malt liquor, but here is what he wants to do with it. So me and him, we went to the drawing board and we decided to go ahead and
Cannabis.
drop some ideas. So we came together on the idea we want a nice, deep golden color, but we want it either unfiltered or hazy. We want a moderate to heavy sweetness with actual honey added into it. If we can use actual honey malt, we can, but we want it to be balanced. So he also said he wanted it to be an ale, warm fermented at 65 degrees, but yet he wants it to be hoppy as well. So he wants the hop varieties to be, a spicy, floral, to balance it out and also give it a unique dryness. An IBU of 40 to 45, an ABV of 8 to 8.5%. But he said if all else fails, if we can't get it up to 8 to 8.5%, to give it the ice brew treatment. The lowest, give it the 6-degree ice brew treatment, but at the highest, a 25-degree. And we came up with a name for it. So we decided to give it the name of Kicking Zombie Jesters Twisted Malt Liquor.
That's a long name.
All I'm gonna say about this little excursion you are trying to undergo is be prepared to not brew beer successfully your first time and to have to spend a little bit of money to do it right.
Oh, I know, but I mean,
number one, this ain't gonna be real easy. I'm not really sure, number two, how it is you're gonna get 5 gallons into something that can freeze unless you got a freezer and then you can figure out a way to take out all of the beer from the carboy or whatever it is and then skim off ice to make
actually, I know how to do it.
That. And number three, actually, lager beers are really some of the hardest, is the hardest beer style to brew.
No, he doesn't want it a lager.
That kind of style, it shows all kind of flaws, imperfections, and it does need a little bit of like, because it brews at a lower temperature, they're going to take a lot longer to brew, and the turnover is not as great quickly.
Right, but he doesn't want it as a lager. He said he wants it as an ale.
So I've never heard of a malt liquor ale, but you can brew. I don't know what's similar to that. You'd probably have to brew. I don't know, an imperial amber or red or something like that.
Well, here's how I determined how to do this. So I posted in Everything is Food about how they did an ice bock. They did a doppelbock and gave it the ice treatment. They filtered everything and then they put it into a keg and then froze the keg and then filtered it out of the keg. That's how they made the ice bock.
That seems like expensive beer right there.
Well, I mean, it's a collaboration beer, meaning me and him are creating this beer together. So, I mean, he knows if you think I'm a nerd and I like to go into detail about things, for all I know, maybe he'd be a better beer brewer than what I do. That's why we're doing this collab together. But, yes, you've got the details. If we actually make this beer, I would love to send everyone a sample from the test run to see how it turns out.
Ooh, yeah. I'm still trying to figure out what kind of a beer style you should brew. That's what you want to do. Again, maybe the Imperial Red or Amber Ale. Way to do it. So get a Imperial. I'm sure if you go to a local brew shop where you can buy these ingredients, they must have recipes that you can use that'll show you how to brew that style, but you can probably be able to tweak certain ingredients.
Maybe somebody can brew a bat beer.
I mean, I've looked up recipes on how people have made malt liquors in the past, lagers and ales. So I kind of have my recipe down as to how I want to do this and the process which I have to go through. But I mean, the fact that he says he wants it either unfiltered or hazy, I mean, that shouldn't be too hard. Just make it and see how it turns out. But he said the biggest thing he really wants is a deep golden color, that 8 to 8.5% ABV. And he wants real honey actually made in with it. But the 40 to 45 IBUs, but like he said, he says he wants it malty. He wants a lot of malt, but he wants a lot of hops with it. So that's why, I've been researching what type of malt and what type of hops to use in this variety to give it this high of an ABV, but also make it balanced. So I've got the recipe down. It's just going to be more or less trial and error in the actual brewing process.
Okay.
I think that Damon Owens' first attempt at home brewing will be much more successful than the average person because you're dealing with the high intellect of a Damon Owens with the research that he has done compared to the average ham and egger out there.
Ham and egg.
Ham and egger.
Did you know recently there was 3 baboons that escaped a hospital in Sydney, Australia? They were scheduled to have a vasectomy. They escaped right out of that hospital. This is a true story.
Vasectomy, huh?
The baboons, a 15-year-old male who was scheduled to have a vasectomy, and 2 females brought along to keep him calm, escaped in a car park of the Royal Prince Alfred Hospital on Tuesday afternoon.
I don't like monkeys, except for the beverage I'm having.
The brat. Oh yeah,
We are monkeys.
Golden monkey, sour monkey, brass monkey.
They throw feces at you. They jerk off on you. They
Look at a baboon.
Well, baboons.
Just like us.
Those are massive creatures.
Well, they got they got really
Red ass.
jaws, and big long teeth. They're really the whole monkey family is really not pleasant.
The baboons. The most unfortunate part is that the baboons are part of a national baboon colony in Sydney, Australia, which supplies baboons for scientific testing.
Why would Australians want a baboon colony of all creatures? That is really bizarre.
What do they say in this article? The information about the colony is scant. Number of baboons in the facility is not publicly available, and animal welfare organizations told The Guardian, which is the news organization here, that told The Guardian Australia that requests to tour the facility have been.
We're so fucking irresponsible all the time.
If I wanted to raise something, I would raise first of all ostrich because they lay very big eggs, and that could be a breakfast of ecstasy, in my opinion. Yeah, ecstasy, exactly. And I would also utilize the outback desert to grow agave and make Australian tequila. There's Here's an idea.
They said somebody at the I don't know who it was. I'm just kind of skipping through this article. Somebody said at this hospital or this organization that quote unquote he was having a vasectomy because there's no desire for him to continue to breed for the truth. And the other option was for him to move or was to move him from the truth. This way we can have him stay with his family until old age. Really?
These are strange people that took a liking to the ugly, nasty baboon, and you know what?
Yes.
I mean, Australians should help revive the orangutan. That's a very adorable primate. I mean, I think they're wonderful. You know, they have red hair, they have cute faces. They're really not offensive. They're not nasty like chimpanzees and baboons. You know, I mean, do something. Then they have a monitor lizard called a red ackee, which is a very attractive monitor lizard. They got bearded dragons. There's a lot of things going on down there in the land down under. They have a great yellow tails, a great wine. I mean, there's so many costumes that they can do in Australia, and they can put shrimps on the barbie, mate. And you know, baboons of all things. I mean, come on.
Yeah, baboons. Yep, they're doing some kind of experiments on. Reminds me of that movie from the '80s, Project X, with Matthew Broderick, and they were chimpanzees, and they were using them for military research into what happens when actually we take humans into nuclear war with the Soviet Union. So what they would do is they would put these chimpanzees into these military flight simulators, and then halfway through the mission that they were going on, the little flight simulating test, they would literally cause radioactivity to go across the chimpanzee's body. Real radioactivity.
Shit.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy, man. They just wanted to see what was going to happen to chimpanzees before we got into a war. It's like,
Right.
wow, you're going to sacrifice the life of another entity for that kind of research. Is you know they're on their death sentence, but let's just do it anyways.
Of course. Now, there's a species of chimpanzee that's very inoffensive, surprisingly called abomino. Not the abomino Turkish taffy candy, but you know, it's an actual species of or subspecies or
Thank you, Eric.
a chimpanzee called abomino.
Yes. So I have returned with my last beer of the night that I want to review on air. I've done a full review of it, but Bud Ice.
Bud Abbott? Oh, Bud Ice. I'm sorry.
No, yeah, Bud Ice.
Bud Ice is for you.
Okay, so I've done a
what you
formal
got.
review of this video, or of this particular brew. So, like Keystone Ice, this was also introduced in 1994. So, it was to compete in the ice beer craze set off by the introduction of Ice House in 93. So, when people think of Bud Ice, they think of Budweiser Ice. But if you look on tapintoyourbeer.com, which is, Anheuser-Busch's own website about their beers, this is not part of the Budweiser family. They want to include only specifically Budweiser beers that bear their name that only have the polished verdant rice. Well, this is made with corn and rice. So it's 5.5% ABV, but it's only 122 calories. So you're getting light beer light beer calories, but yet regular beer ABV. So let's just go ahead and just pour this bad boy up. So as you notice, it is a little darker as compared to your just regular old Budweiser, and it produces a much thicker head. As you can tell, it's clear, it's golden. Some people would say it's like a light straw, pale golden. To me, it just looks, light golden. So in the aroma, if you've ever smelled just regular old Budweiser before, you would notice, yeah, it's got, the Budweiser smell, but also has like a bush or a natty smell to it. So yeah, you get malt. You can smell the grains. You can smell the corn and the rice. They say you're not supposed to smell the corn and the rice. If you do, that's an imperfection of the brewing process. I strongly disagree because corn complements the sweetness, rice complements the hop characteristics. So, yeah, you smell the grains, corn and rice. There's a little white bread crust.
Craft beer.
I'll get to craft beers. I've got some craft beers I'm going to be uploading here in a little bit. Yeah. There's
Craft beer number one. Craft.
Yeah, and there's a little hop action going on here. I mean, it's a little hoppier as compared to just regular old Budweiser, but not too much more of a hoppiness to it. But so up front, it tastes like Budweiser, but there are some more little nuances to it. There's definitely a nice malt presence up front, and then in the middle, there's some corniness, a little white bread crust.
Salaya, Gabriel.
And then also in the end, there's the hop action, but there's also a little riciness to it as well. But it's very slight. Like the corn overrides the riciness, but the corn, again, it complements the sweetness. The rice complements the hop bitterness, but also the corn gives it more of a particular sweetness, and also the rice dries it out. But yet to finish it all up, it is very crisp, clean, refreshing, and the drinkability is, well, pretty high. The body and mouthfeel, I would definitely say, is light. Maybe light to medium, but more on the light side. And at 5.5%, again, 122 calories, 5.5%. Good ABV to calorie ratio. So, how would I rate this beer? It's withstood the test of time. It's one of those that stuck around. I mean, it was introduced in 1994, for God's sake. So, it's been around 25, almost 26 years. So, to be honest, I'd rather drink this as compared to regular Bud because there is more diversity in the flavor, and there is more flavor to it. And then also there is zero alcohol undertaste, which you expect with ice beers. This has none whatsoever.
None.
So, yeah, none. I think in the video review I gave it like a 93 or a 95. Yeah, I'd stick with like a 93 to a 95. I mean, for an ice beer, for what it is, it's definitely one of those better ones out there. It's withstood the test of time. So it is an excellent one to buy and try. If you don't like macros, it's fine. You're not under any obligation to buy them or try them if you just don't like them. But I mean, if you do like it, I'd rather buy a 6-pack of this than what I would regular Budweiser because it's cheaper, you get a higher ABV, and there is more flavor and more of a diverse flavor as compared to Budweiser. So, yeah, 93 to 95, a solid A for the ice beer category. I honestly can't say anything negative about it. I mean, for a 6-pack of this around here, it is relatively cheap. It's like $4.98 for a 6-pack of these pint tall boys, but I still have one more tall boy left because I'm going to be doing a taste challenge between Bud Ice, Natty Ice, and Busch Ice to see which one is actually the best out of the three. But, Bud Ice, I like it. If you don't like it, that's fine. If you do like it, more power to you. And also the last thing that we'll go ahead and finish my review, the old school commercials back in the 90s, Beware the Penguins commercial about the Bud Ice. Yeah, I can tell obviously nobody knows what the fuck I'm talking about, but just Google
I do know
Beware
about
the
the ice
Penguins.
beer craze from the 90s, yes. I am familiar with said trend in the 90s. Ice House Edge, Didn't Labatt say that they created the ice beers with Labatt ice?
Well, that's what got started here in North America was Labatt Ice,
Yes.
but
Yeah,
that was
fine.
in Canada the same year in 1993. But Ice House caught on in '93 as well. But the ones introduced in '94, I just have a particular bond with these beers. I guess maybe same inception year, both 1994 and 1994. I guess maybe that has something to do with it. I don't know. But also, this is the kind of beer that you want to eat some Lay's barbecue chips. Have this, and also sit back and watch Pulp Fiction to go along with it.
Whoa.
All introduced in 1994. So 94, same movie introduced in 1994. So yeah, there's my review, 93 to 95. An excellent representation of the style. Buy it, try it, see what you think. If you don't like macros, just don't buy it and try it. It's that simple.
Well, what about instead of Lay's, what about Mexican restaurant style tortillas with some nice super hot salsa, some habanero or triple X?
Yeah, this beer, like I said, it's like regular Budweiser, but if you've had Budweiser before, there would be more flavor, more of a diverse flavor, and there would be more body and more flavor to it in general. So I'm trying to think of, what type of beer this would pair well with. I mean, the Bud Ice as well as the Keystone Ice, they could pretty much go with anything. I mean, Lay's barbecue chips, some Mexican food, could probably pair well with some spicy Chinese food, spicy Mexican food.
What about some deep fried chicken wings from the Chinese takeout?
Yes, I was going to say that. Some wings. It could probably pair well with with a nice juicy burger and fries. Anything you really think of, this would pair well with. So, in terms of food pairings,
what about pears? What about pairing it with a can of pears? Not really.
I mean, if you have it in like a fruit salad or something like that, definitely. I mean, I like fruit salads, but I'd rather just have a regular salad with like iceberg lettuce and as well as various other lettuces, maybe a little spinach, some carrots, some onions.
Yeah, romaine lettuce is much higher in the nutritional density than iceberg. Iceberg is crap when it comes to nutritional density.
Well, I mean, yeah, even though iceberg lettuce doesn't have a lot of nutrition, it does give you a lot of water, which is still definitely necessary in terms of your overall bodily function as well as your nutrition.
All right, I gotta say something. Damien.
No.
I hate Budweiser as a company. To me, they're the fat cats. Is there any other macro beer that you like aside from the Budweiser Anheuser-Busch company?
Yes, actually. I mean, I do drink Anheuser-Busch products, but I do drink Molson Coors. I do drink Miller. I mean, I do drink Genesee. Here's how I think. If I see a beer and I see the price is right, and I looked up previous reviews about the beer, and at least the overall general consensus about the beer is, it's either a wash to neutral or it's a good beer, I'll buy it, I'll try it. I mean, I'm not just going to look at a beer and say, oh, it's made by Anheuser-Busch, or it's made by, Molson Coors, Miller Coors, Genesee, or we're going to go even lower grade like City Brewing. I'm not going to say, oh, I'm not going to buy it, I'm not going to try it. I mean, every beer has its place. I mean, if the beer is good, it's good. If it's bad, it's bad. I don't care who makes it. If the beer is good, it's good. If it's bad, it's bad. Period. Regardless of who makes it.
Hi, Michael.
So, I know you want to say Anheuser-Busch is the fat cats, but In all honesty, if it wasn't for the big breweries and just regular old beer catching on, craft beer honestly really wouldn't be where it's at today without them. Because if regular old beer would have never really caught on, craft beer probably wouldn't have caught on as well. Because if the basics don't catch, what makes you think something outside of the basics would ever catch on? It's just it's a logical fallacy.
Well, the basics, meaning big corporate, nationally advertised beer macro. Is that what you're saying? Is the basics?
No. What I'm saying is, just regular old beer. If Americans didn't like just drinking beer in general, I mean, if they honestly wouldn't like just regular old basic beer, like I'm drinking Bud Ice and I was drinking earlier Keystone Ice, if the basics wouldn't have caught on, craft would have never caught on. See, what really made the craft beer industry so big was, yes, Americans love and thirst for beer. That was the basis to get this whole entire thing going. Now, building on that basis and going up for that is, there are some Americans out there who, they respected the original and respected regular old beer, but they wanted more diversity. They wanted beer to taste different as compared to just what the mainstream stuff was. So, for me, I like beer. I like talking about beer. I like drinking beer, studying beer. I mean, hell, I'm going to be brewing my own beer, for God's sake. So I had to have a good basis of, what has been tried and true and what has been tried now and has either succeeded or has not succeeded.
Yep.
So I've looked at many, many years of what has withstood the test of time in terms of just, the regular stuff, but what has been tried and true in the craft industry, meaning what has succeeded and what has failed. Because for me, yeah, I'm going to brew the basics, but over time, I'm going to brew more complex stuff. Because, I want diversity in terms of what it is I do and what I brew. So I wanted a good basis for the basics and also the craft stuff as well. Because for me, I'm going to put the meaning of craft back into craft beer. Granted, I'm going to draw a lot of stuff from tried and true sources, but at the same time, I'm going to make it my own beer. I'm going to make it an actual craft beer. Even if it's just a basic beer, it's still going to be a craft beer.
Difference between your old world style natural craft beer made in your home under your specifications and what those motherfuckers make at Anheuser-Busch with chemicals, loaded with chemicals. I take Damian Owens home style stout over what or lager over what they do.
I mean, yeah, I would love that, but I mean, still, Anheuser-Busch, InBev, Molson Coors, Miller Coors, or any other macro beer brewery out there, unless people around the world just don't want to drink beer, they're going to be around, whether we like it.
They could be around. Not. I don't have to buy it.
Exactly. Like I said, you're under zero obligation to like or buy their products. But still, as I was saying, I like seeing what is out there, what's withstood the test of time. And also, that's going to also help me as a beer brewer. So that way, I can see what, just regular old beer drinkers would want to drink, but also what would appeal to the craft individuals as well. Because I want something that is going to appeal to the mass majority of drinkers, but also draw on the craft community as well. I mean, I want to bring people who like beer to just come in, just shut up and drink beer and just enjoy it.
All right, listen. I used to hang out in a lot of these pubs where the college kids used to go. They used to drink the macros. I call them the drink and puke generation because the urinals were full of vomit. If I drink any of those macros, I get heartburn, terrible heartburn. I see the kids drink and puke, drink and puke. I never see that with craft. Now, hey man, there's no law that prevents them from being in business. If macros want to advertise and like they've been doing, and the people buy it, more power to them. I'm not a fan of capitalism, but nothing can stop them from doing what they do. But if you took it to a lab and analyzed it, I still would rather drink craft beer or a good home style beer under your specifications. I mean,
Right, but the reason why I'm drinking these beers now is it's been a rough week. I just wanted a beer to just kick back and drink. I didn't want to think on it. I just wanted to just drink it.
Yeah,
so,
well, you can get that from a Genesee cream ale or
Genesee.
or something, or a Modelo Special, or I mean, you can kick back and not spend a lot of money and drink those.
yeah, as I was saying, $4.98 for a 6-pack of these tall boys. But what just really got me was $11.97 for a 15-pack of this. I was like,
Damn.
I'm craving it. I want to try it. It's been a while, but so we've kind of got our mission statement about this particular beer that me and my best friend want to do about kicking zombie jesters twisted malt liquor. So the one thing you're never going to be able to accuse me of is false advertising. Meaning, I'm going to specifically say why this beer exists in the actual details about the beer. So the reason why this beer exists is we want to appeal to the malt liquor drinkers, but we also want to appeal to the craft beer drinkers as well. Because in our mission statement, it specifically says, based on rich history and a sick and cruel joke, this particular brew exists to bridge the gap between regular beer drinkers and the craft community so we can all sit down and enjoy a beer to just shut up and drink. And not really say, oh, you shouldn't be enjoying this beer because of this. Oh, you should be enjoying this beer because of that. No, we're just saying, just shut up, have a pint of our beer, and just enjoy.
Well, yeah. Well, I tell people that eat junk food that they're shortening their lifespan. I mean, it's for their own good. As far as beer goes, yeah, I agree with what Damien said, but it depends on what is in the beer.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Well, chemicals, additives, preservatives, it's laced in everything. I guarantee you, if you go to the store and you buy organic foods, I guarantee you it's in there. I guarantee you it's in there.
I eat certified organic non-GMO foods. I go to Whole Foods. I go to Trader Joe's. I don't eat no crap. Because
That's what I'm saying. By law, we had gone over this before. I mean, something can still be organic and still be a GMO product. So whenever I see something that says organic, non-GMO, no preservatives, no this, no that, I take it with a very severe grain of salt. I mean, if you really want something that really is truly organic, non-GMO, no preservatives, you're going to have to come down here and try something from a local garden. That's really about the only way that's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you look at a label, yeah, there are laws that, prevent false advertising. But like I said, you can read a label that says organic, but even under U.S. law, something can still be organic and still be a GMO product. So even if they say certified organic non-GMO, I still just kind of go, I don't really know about that. The only way I would really say, again, if it really was non-GMO, non-this, non-that, organic, is if I was to have it from my grandma or grandpa's garden. That way I know, they didn't treat it with preservatives, there were no artificial fertilizers, there was no this, no that. Right. It is the way nature intended it.
Well, it is possible for a GM, for seeds and pollen from a GMO farm to blow or be carried by birds over to in the vicinity of an organic farm. That is possible to happen, and thus contaminate an organic farm. That could
Right.
happen.
Yeah,
I agree with that. You know,
highly unlikely though, but you never know.
yeah, but there are, you know, I mean,
You never know, right?
the third party. That's why I always look for the third. I don't look for just the USDA certified organic. I look for that third party, that independent organization that puts the stamp on there.
Right.
Yeah, I don't
Then
go.
also, you're right. And then also in terms of GMO, GMO has been happening for quite a few years now. I know Monsanto has taken it to the extreme, but the Native Americans are actually the first people to really produce a organic GMO product. Because what they do is, yes, they go ahead and they grow like corn or whatever it is they need to grow, and they take something from the previous crop yield into the next crop to give it a higher nutritional yield. Now, even on the very basic level, that is still genetic modification, even at the still very basic level. So you can still have something that's a genetically modified organism and it still be all natural. So the only reason why it's really been drawn attention to this whole entire thing is because of Monsanto and their unnatural way of doing this. Now, you know, getting back to what I was saying, you can still do it in a very pure, organic, natural way. So when I see something that's GMO'd, as long as it's done correctly, I'm just going to be like, okay, how was this done? Did it give it a higher nutritional yield naturally? Okay, fine. I'm not going to have any problems there. But was this laced with all kinds of chemicals? And was this done in a lab to do this? And was there like some other external process that had to be done? And
Well, the original
this and that. You know, I'd just be like, I don't know about that.
the original seeds, they use the word heirloom seeds. Heirloom. There's actually a company where farmers can buy heirloom seeds. Like if you want to grow a certain type of eggplant or a squash, let's say butternut squash, because I happen to like butternut squash. You get the heirloom seed. That's the original butternut squash. No genetic modification whatsoever. That's the term that they use. And there's a company in New England, northern New England, that sells heirloom seeds. Totally non-GMO seeds. But then again, you have to make sure your farm is in a pristine area where there's no GMO farms within a reasonable distance, because birds and wind will carry.
Right.
It can happen.
Yeah, I mean, if you want a really good organic farm, come down here to Tennessee. I mean, the price for land down here in Tennessee is very, very cheap. Like, you could buy quite a few acre lot for like $32,500. So, I mean, I don't know what the acre price is here in Tennessee. I know it's been a while, but I know out here where I live, there was an elderly couple who passed away. I mean, this farm had been in their family for generations, and it's a huge farm, and it's up for sale right now. And the asking price they want for it is $1 million. No one is buying it. And they're not even willing to split this up into multiple lots to where someone could buy this farm for maybe $100 to $200, maybe even $300,000 to try to split this up. No, they want one asking price for this whole entire plot of land, $1 million. No one is buying it.
That's a lot of organic cannabis, in my opinion.
Oh,
That's a integrity.
not in Tennessee, not yet.
Integrity Farm, not in Tennessee, not yet. Integrity Farms.
Right. Well, speaking of
emphasis on the not yet part.
Right.
I know there's probably, I think I've heard from Gary that there are Damian Owens, that there are things floating around in the legislature down there.
Yes, there is definitely a lot. Okay, so Tennessee is, I mean, it used to be a very bad state to live in. But in all honesty, coming from Virginia, Tennessee is really not that bad of a state, to be honest. So they kind of keep you up to date of what's been going on here in Tennessee. So Tennessee used to be a very deep Republican, Christian evangelical moral majority state. That's not really the case anymore. So Tennessee is now a moderate to moderate Republican state. A Democrat can definitely win in this state, but would like a radical liberal win in Tennessee? Definitely not. But a more moderate liberal, they can definitely win, and they do win in Knoxville, Chattanooga, Nashville, and Memphis. They do win. So what's been going on here in Tennessee? So
I don't like moderates.
Well, I'm like I said, I'm just saying, just kind of paint the picture of what's going on.
Yeah, I know.
So Tennessee has actually thought about legalizing marijuana, and in fact, there was an actual piece of legislation that passed the House, but it failed in the Senate because of the moral majorities that still have a little bit of control in this state. They were willing to go ahead and just fully legalize marijuana here in Tennessee, recreationally and legally. The only thing that kind of made it die in the water was the 12% tax on it. Well, Tennessee has a 9.5% sales tax on everything, but we have no state level income tax. But if you do the math, everything kind of balances out in the end. So Nashville and Memphis, actually, the cities themselves decriminalized personal possession of marijuana up to a certain amount. That our former governor, before the one we have now, Bill Haslam, scrapped that idea and overruled it and just fucked everything up. Now, there have been other ideas of legalizing marijuana. Tennesseans support it.
Tennessee, that's dumb.
Well, Tennesseans support legalizing marijuana.
Easy beat.
It's just the moral majorities still have a little hold in the state, but they seem to be the loudest minority. But every day their grip is slowly becoming more and more less prevalent. So I would say probably for the next 5 years or so, Tennessee will legalize marijuana. And then the next piece of legislation that is coming up here is our taxing system. So Tennessee has had the flat 9.5% sales tax on everything, but 0% income tax on everything. That's been around for as long as I can remember, because even when living in Virginia, it's been around definitely for 25, 30 years. But then what they're trying to do is they're wanting to abolish the flat 9.5% sales tax, but they want to have more of a variable, adjustable sales tax rate, but at the same time not having a sales tax rate. So the idea they thought about is we're going to lower the sales tax rate on the essentials. So like groceries, gas, what have you. We're going to lower that down to like 4, maybe 5%. But yet we're going to raise the tax on the luxuries like tobacco and alcohol above 9.5%. to like 10, 12, even upwards of like 14 to 15% to make up the difference. I mean, if that's the case and this is the way they want to go with, we might as well go ahead and just stay with the flat 9.5% sales tax on everything and still maintain the zero income tax. So there's that idea floating around. I mean, if they're going to go that route, I hate to say it at this point, it's just going to be dead on arrival. Now, the last thing that's really been floating around is Tennessee has really been thinking about becoming a constitutional carry state, meaning as long as you are over 21 years or older and you're not legally barred from owning a firearm, you can legally conceal carry a loaded handgun on your person or in the confines of your property without a permit. So, to elaborate more on that idea, Tennessee has a extended castle doctrine to where you can have a loaded concealed handgun on the confines of your personal property.
If you pass the universal background check and you're not a psychiatric patient or have a criminal record.
Right, that's what I was saying. If you're not legally barred from owning a firearm, that's why I said
or
legally
for
barred.
some strange, crazy reasoning, whatever. Not only just we all know this one, right? But not only whatever crazy state you live in, or the state that you live in, but it comes down, at least in my state, it does. I think it probably works this way in every other state. Individual towns somehow get to decide what the rules are in order to acquire
not here in Tennessee.
In of itself, how that is able to happen.
Nope, not here in Tennessee. So, as I was saying, Tennessee has an extended castle doctrine. So you have your own plot of land, your own castle per se. So you have your plot of land and you have the actual confines of your home. That is considered your castle. That's the way other states have built this doctrine upon. Well, Tennessee has expanded upon that. So Tennessee also acknowledges your castle as your own personal vehicle as well. So you can legally carry a loaded concealed handgun in your vehicle without a permit, but the handgun itself has to remain in the confines of your own personal vehicle. Now, if you want to carry said handgun outside of the vehicle, you have to have a concealed carry permit. Now, unlike Virginia, my former state where I used to live in, you can open carry a handgun without a permit. Here in Tennessee, if you want to open or conceal carry, you have to have a permit, irregardless. And now they've simplified the process. So you can now take a in-person class all day, or you could take a 90-minute course online for $65 to get your concealed carry permit. But this permit only allows concealed carry only. You cannot have any open carry of any firearms whatsoever. So at least they've made it, easier to do. But now, since they've done this, now they're talking about constitutional carry, meaning, if you're 21 years or older, you're not legally barred from owning a firearm. As long as you meet the legal criteria, you can just carry a handgun in non-restricted places without a permit. But permits would still be available for a reciprocity agreement. Now, you would think a concealed carry permit would apply to all 50 states, but in this instance, it does not. Every state is allowed to have their own laws, and states have their own reciprocity agreements. Tennessee acknowledges a lot of different concealed carry permits, but yet, we would allow something from like New Jersey or Massachusetts, but yet it wouldn't work the other way around. Which is one thing I would definitely do is I would definitely allow constitutional carry in all 50 states without a permit, meaning as long as you're not legally barred from owning a firearm and you meet all the legal criteria. If you want to do it, you're a law-abiding citizen. You don't have to worry about you. But even if you break the law, you're still going to lose your gun rights.
No. Let's wrap this up because this is, as far as carry without a permit, without the intensive universal background check approving it, or having your occupation demand that you be able to carry. No. If you want to keep it in your car or in your home, that's a different story. But as far as carrying, no. Now, what is this, Dodge City, Deadwood, South Dakota? I mean,
Not really, but I will just go ahead and say this now. I'd rather trust somebody who has gone through the legal process to have a gun than a criminal. Because a criminal,
Yup.
what are they going to do? They're out there to hurt you, but I mean, do they abide by the law?
They're not abiding
No,
by it in
they
the
don't.
first place.
They're not. So I mean, the law is not going to apply to them. To be honest, I'd rather trust somebody, who has gone through the process and
Yep.
is of the legal age and is not barred from owning a firearm. Those are the people you want to trust, because you know why? When shit hits the fan and they got a gun, and the going gets tough, and we have an incident that requires somebody armed on the scene to deal with a particular situation before the police or anybody else gets there, trust them, because ultimately they're going to be the ones who are going to stop something bad from happening before the police or anybody else get there. Enough said.
well, what's the old saying? The bullet is a lot faster than calling 911.
Exactly. So
But
I mean,
heaven help the guy who dates a girl who has a firearm in her purse. Heaven help him.
to be honest, my wife just applied for a concealed carry permit. I mean, even if a woman or a man carries a gun, that really is the least of your problems. I mean,
Well, you
for
can't.
example,
You can't. You're not going to get to third base on a date. I'll tell you right now.
well, even if you don't, so what? I mean, if you don't, so what?
Well, as long as she pays for her own hamburger and French fries.
Well, if you want to go Dutch, that's fine. I mean, why does everything about a date have to be, this, that? I mean, a
Well,
date is what is supposed to go in between two consensual individuals.
Well,
And if you both agree to that, fine. More power to you.
there's no point in even dating a woman unless there's an objective at the end. I mean, there's no.
Yeah, and if you don't get to third base on the first date, so what? Yeah, just in all honesty, so what? I mean, to be honest, I'll go ahead and put it to you this way. I would love a woman who is in the middle and not afraid to, be independent and take care of herself as compared to someone else, doing it for her. And I will say this, some of the best shooters I have ever met were women.
Oh, that's
So
reassuring.
So, at the end of the day, I mean, I know we can agree to disagree on this, but I mean, at the end of the day, a good guy with a gun is going to stop a bad guy with a gun.
Well,
And to be honest, if you two were around me and I was concealed carrying, I would love for you all to instill your trust in me. Or if you all decided to conceal carry, I'd rather instill my trust into you two carrying a gun as compared to someone else who intends to do us harm.
well, we're not criminals. So,
Exactly. But the point I was going at is, say, someone doesn't want to do things the legal way. So you want to go ahead and just have a gun on their person just to have the gun. It happens all the time here in the U.S. and also other countries where they have strict gun laws. So the fact someone has a gun, don't let that be your main concern. Oh, you got to focus on the gun and the person carrying the gun, because someone can slip through the cracks. I also found this out. Not every state in the United States actually accurately reports criminal records. And it's not just Tennessee or New Jersey or Massachusetts, it's all 50 U.S. states. So theoretically, someone could have a felony conviction, want to test the waters, because also, by the way, if you were to still falsify information on the form that you fill out to, pass the background check, if you deliberately falsify information on it, it's still a criminal penalty. But even if you were to accurately disclose everything and you slip through the cracks, you can still legally purchase a gun. So don't let the gun and the person be the priority, because people carry illegally. People are not supposed to legally have firearms. But also people who own firearms legally can still, lose their shit and use their firearms for illegal intentions. So don't focus on the gun. Focus on,
Well,
having them and being prepared for when shit hits the fan.
as long as we have as long as there's a black market, the criminals unfortunately will get their firearms.
Exactly.
It's been happening, and I guess if the girl is really into the guy, whether or not she has a 10 millimeter, 9 millimeter in her purse, if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. She's not going to blow him away. As long
Figuratively speaking.
as he doesn't try, to rape her. Everything should be fine.
Exactly. And also,
we'll still get the guns.
yeah, and I'll tell you another thing. I know you all are Northerners, and I'm a Southerner. If you want to try to appeal to women here in the South, and it's growing up there it's also growing up there in the North, slowly but surely. But I mean, if you do talk about guns to women, it could also be a great talking point because.
Yeah, but it could be an obsession too.
I'm not obsessed with guns. I love my guns. I want people to be armed. I want people to empower. But at the same time, if you talk about guns to a woman, here's ultimately what you were telling her, whether you realize this or not. If you talk about them to a woman, it does show to a certain extent that you do care for her and her well-being, and also supporting her right to choose and her right to self-defense.
Well, maybe it's part of Southern culture. Maybe it's a cultural difference. It probably is.
I'd also be curious to how many women up north, believe it or not, would probably actually carry a knife or have mace on their person just in case shit were to hit the fan.
That's true, because they're vulnerable. They're women.
Exactly. But I'll tell you right now, using a knife or using mace on somebody is way more lethal than using a gun. Because using a gun, if you're not shot in a lethal place, you can survive a gunshot wound. Using mace or getting stabbed, not so much. And here's why. So I've watched various videos about, different knives, how they work, and watching someone being attacked with a knife. A knife has way more lethality than a gun because it doesn't matter where you stab somebody with a knife. If they're not given adequate medical treatment in X amount of time, they're going to die.
Well, an arrow from a compound bow can cause much more internal bleeding than a bullet from a 9 millimeter Glock, right? I mean,
yeah, exactly. And then secondly, there is some regulation about mace, but the active ingredient in mace is capsaicin, which comes from chili peppers. Now, if you spray somebody with mace, if they are allergic or you do it incorrectly, you what?
I leveled up to level 69.
69.
69, my favorite number, 69.
Everyone else's favorite number is 69. Yay!
Yay! Here's for 69. All right, listen.
What about 72?
Yeah, but anyway, as I said, I'll go ahead and I'll wrap this up. So about capsaicin.
Capsaicin.
Yeah, so capsaicin. If someone has an adverse reaction to it, it could actually permanently blind them. So you have to be very careful about how you mace somebody. Now, the way you're supposed to do it is you're supposed to, do short bursts above the eyebrows, and it's supposed to, through the sweat glands, inadvertently drip down into their eyes. That's supposed to subdue your attacker. That's how it's supposed to work.
When you have an attacker, you want to fuck them up.
Exactly.
People don't think they don't think about courtesy when they're spraying somebody with mace.
Well, that's what I was saying. If you do it wrong, you could inadvertently blind someone permanently if you don't know what it is they're doing.
Yeah.
So, to be honest, I'm either you go non-lethal with a baton or like a beanbag round out of a shotgun.
Or slapjack.
Yeah, or slapjack, or use your fist, maybe a baseball bat to, have an equalizer.
Baseball bat.
Or
Nasty.
keys. A woman putting her keys through her fingers and making spikes.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah, like kind of like makeshift brass knuckles,
There you
per
go.
se. Okay, so that's non-lethal. Okay, so you either go full-blown non-lethal or you go full-blown lethal. Don't take this middle ground, because when you take middle ground in terms of force, it never honestly works.
Give them the
So,
clamps. Give them the
yeah,
clamps.
give them the clamp. Yeah, give them the clamps. Give them the
What is
clamps. So,
that? Oh, the clamps for the nipples?
yeah,
Hell
that
no.
and it's a Futurama reference. Yeah, it's a Futurama
Right.
reference.
This thing is intense. And my grandfather.
Yeah, I
passed
know
away,
we got sidetracked.
and I was left his not a what do they call it? Well, what's the other big multi-tool there? Not one of those, but a Winchester. Speaking of guns, oh there you go.
You know what G. Gordon Liddy said on a show when I was a kid? He
Boy.
said, forget about mace. Get the hornet spray that shoots
Leatherman.
a stream 30 feet.
Ooh, Jesus.
And nail that bastard right in the face with hornet poison.
Holy crap.
And also, everyone, Pixel one to make her presence known. Hi, humans. Hi, kitty daughter.
Hello.
Her favorite person is also Chairman Meow, and she's fidgety. She wants down.
Oh no.
I'm hungry. Now I want General Tusso's chicken.
Ouch.
Yes. So yeah, I guess my long-winded way of saying is, don't be afraid of guns. Don't be afraid of people with guns, because at the end of the day, if you want to stop a bad guy with a gun, you're going to need one at the end of the day. Period.
Well, a good guy is not up to no good. Number one.
Exactly.
Good guy.
If he's packing heat and somebody who's fucked up wants to cause trouble, you got a bunch of good guys in the restaurant that can take care of business.
Exactly. I mean, like around here in Tennessee, I know how to tell when someone is carrying, because you can see a bulge on either their right or left side. It's pretty apparent, but for me, I figured out a way to actually conceal certain weapons on my person, and no one knows that I'm doing it.
It's like Eric's band members. They got a bulge right between their legs when they play.
Exactly.
Cucumber with the tinfoil.
So you're not going to believe this, but, I do have a trench coat. And I figured out with this, how can I conceal, just to see if it can be done. I figured out how to conceal certain things on my person, and nobody knew how to do it. So a full-size Glock. I had a Glock 23, which is the full-size Glock 40 caliber.
Oh, yeah.
I figured out a way to conceal that on my person with over 18 rounds of ammunition on my person. No one knew that I was doing it. I've also done it with bigger weapons and also much smaller weapons. And you're not going to believe this, but a trench coat can actually conceal a full-blown American rifle. It can actually conceal a shotgun. It can conceal an AK-47, and it can conceal an AR-15.
I don't mean to laugh when you say trench coat over and over, because in the Northeast, the Flashers had trench coats.
Right, but I'm just saying,
Yeah, I know.
I did it just to see, can it be done? But I have an AK-47 with, standard capacity magazines, 30 rounds. I put on my person to see, can this be concealed with a trench coat? I put it on. I'm just thinking, no one knows I'm concealing this weapon whatsoever. I'm just like, So at the end of the day, don't be afraid of people with guns. Just be prepared, because at any moment, a bad guy with a gun can go ape shit, and a good guy with a gun can go ape shit.
Well, you're absolutely right. On that note, I am in the mood for a nice fillet of fish, codfish sandwich on organic Trader Joe's multi-grain bread. So let's wrap it up, because I'm hungry. You know, it's been very invigorating, but I particularly like to talk about the home brewing project by Damian Owens and the educational input by Mr. Eric Fraunfelter of Thomas Metal 75.
Say what? Yeah. Okay.
All right, what happened?
Support the band, people.
I'm
Yeah.
here.
You don't like your input?
I do. This is our band. Support it.
Oh, I'm not.
That's
Yeah,
a T-shirt logo, but it didn't come out all the way. But there you go.
this show, not done yet. This show is in honor of the independent, the indie heavy metal rock band Oxblood Forge, in which this gentleman, Eric Fraunfelter, is currently the drummer for Oxblood Forge. Okay.
Studio. Yes, we're recording. June, I hope. July latest. We'll get something out to you people. If you like classic metal,
when
all
you-
kinds, and thrash.
When you put together some solid videos for your YouTube channel, just tip us off, and I will post it on New Age Mysticism and Health, where all the other rock videos are. I always post Oxblood Forge on that page. You are welcome to click.
Thank you.
And that's that. And it's been invigorating. I know Mr. Michael Hilton was a little shy, and he kind of like took off. He vanished, but
Not too much, babe, Michael. Woo.
it's okay. You know, we had him for a while. I don't know about the person with the bizarre name that tried to get on the show, because
That wasn't Gary. Gary Owens. You're right there. Ugh.
Yeah,
That
I'm right
wasn't,
here. Don't wear Crocs, by the way.
With the tiles in the bathroom.
that was him with that bizarre name that tried to get. No,
I could, because we have the ticker going down. We can't say anybody's name right now, but who knows who that crazy guy was.
well,
I
I
was
put
sending it out on Google Hangouts to all the beer groups. So
well, I put the link on Alpha Males, and
okay, all right.
Johnny Ringo asked me, about he'd like to join the political show Sunday night, Progressive Discussions. So I posted the link to Alpha Males, and I say, well, listen, I'll put the link on Alpha Males.
Yeah.
And then he says he doesn't have a webcam. I go, wait a minute.
How you gonna join? You just gonna do audio?
All tablets, laptops, and cell phones nowadays have a built-in webcam.
Yeah, laptop or the cell phones will work for this. Not as good as a computer, but they do work. I've done it.
They all have it. They all, even if it's a low grade one, they have built-in webcams.
Yup.
So, I mean,
They sure do.
he can join. He's been stopping by for our political shows, and
We'll be able to do it.
Ronnie S. Plays devil's advocate as the as a right winger, and he challenges and tries to debate Damian Owens. But Damian Owens razzles and dazzles him left and right.
Mm-hmm.
Area.
Yeah, so to elaborate a little bit on what he's talked about. So Ronnie S has tried different tactics in terms of, basically either ad hominem non sequitur, or we're just basically doing straw man arguments, or we're just splitting hairs like the Roman society being mercantilist. And I'm just like, did you not understand my previous argument about how, feudalism existed for thousands of years, but feudalism gave way to capitalism, and basically capitalism is feudalism 2.0. And the next one he tried to pull on me was, the whole basis of libertarianism is property rights. I'm just thinking to myself, property rights is a very broad and basic term, but yet that's not just the whole entire basis of libertarianism. I mean, property rights, there is public, personal, and private property, and there's variants of all three of those properties, but that's just not everything. libertarianism is based off of.
Right.
Like libertarianism is the whole entire basis of, everyone's personal and economic freedoms for the particular individual, and honestly, fuck everyone else. And that just didn't really register with him, and then we just had to resort to straw man arguments.
Well, Ronnie S. Has been attending Ronald J. Tirio's political shows. He gets invited to his shows. I used to do shows with political shows with Jay Tirio, but apparently Ronnie S. is the one that gets invited. And Ronnie S. tries to play devil's advocate, and you know what really is amazing is how all these people that live week to week, paycheck to paycheck, month to month, some of them don't have a pot to piss in, and they're Republicans, and they're for the political party of the top 2% of the wealthy, and that don't have their best interests. So it doesn't really make sense. So if you were an intellectual, if you were a person of common sense, you would say, "Hey, what does this party? What did this party do for me? Did it elevate my standard of living? Not really. So why am I voting for these people?" So so it's like the flag wavers in America. America, I'm a patriot. Hey, look at me, I'm a patriot. It doesn't make any sense. You're shooting yourself in one foot and then the other foot to match both feet. And Eric Kronfelter knows exactly what I'm talking about. And
yeah. I mean, YouTube can be crazy sometimes, as James P. Madonna would say, mystical place. You get in front of this little guy.
Not just YouTube, social media in general.
Yeah, just behind. If you're not live on this thing, then what we're all viewing on that behind that computer screen, you feel like physically you're not engaging in a confrontation. Physically, you don't have a conversation with anybody.
Twitter,
you don't. When you get inside of somebody physically in their space, and you're having that conversation physically, then what really happens that fails in texting back and forth on Facebook or posting on Instagram. What really, or Instagram? Yeah, that too. But Twitter. What really fails is the tone and the voice that comes across in what somebody means when they're saying it. Well, and I have a terrible problem in a lot of times interpreting when what I might be saying is totally misunderstood, and I don't get it. Well, I don't get it, but somebody else is like, "Well, that wasn't cool." I'm like, "What are you talking about?"
Well, if somebody's going to debate a person with proven hard scientific facts, if somebody's going to debate, let's say, a Damian Owens, at least bring facts to debate him with. Don't just, like he said, ad hominem comments.
Yeah, ad hominems and non sequiturs.
Yeah, and give him this flag waving patriot bullshit and fake phony Christianity, which no one has proven that their God exists. No one. And wave the flag in his face without debating him intellectually with facts. If you don't come at him with facts, you've lost the debate.
Yeah. So little brief notes on that is just like, the make a long story short. The reason why a lot of right wingers just really just baffle me, and why I just kind of just laugh at them, is just they're so loyal to an idea that's set in stone. Because outside of the United States, the idea or the conception of the United States where outside of human beings, where does the idea of the United States really exist? It's an us creation. Do you think, dogs, cats, or any other species out there really look outside of the fact that the United States exists? No, they don't. We're only looking at this from a just one-sided perspective. Same thing with like Canada, Mexico, as well as other various countries throughout the world. Because if you look at space, take for example, if an ancient alien civilization or any extraterrestrial race were to look at us, they wouldn't see an actual border of the United States. They wouldn't see an actual border of Canada or Mexico.
No, they won't.
They would just see an actual continent of, North America, South America, what have you. So we're looking at this from a very narrow, one-sided perspective. So for me, when I'm looking at an idea, I research it extensively. And I try to, look at all sides, but still, at the end of the day, there is a thesis and an antithesis, a right and a wrong idea. And eventually they will conflict and clash and combine over time, creating a synthesis, the best elements out of the right and the wrong idea, whether we like it or not. That's just the way the dialectic works. So at the end of the day, it's still a very narrow, one-sided perspective. So outside of human beings, the United States just simply does not exist.
Yeah, well, alien civilizations would look at the Earth the way satellites, like you said, no borders, the way satellites would look at the Earth. And don't forget, our closest galaxy, Andromeda, is larger than the Milky Way galaxy.
Mm-hmm.
And every time I watch these programs on Travel Channel with actual video footage of extraterrestrials, there's more detailed and more volume of such videos that people are taking with their phones and their cameras. It's getting more. It's getting more. More validation that these extraterrestrials exist.
Well, yeah. If you want any validation that cryptozoological beings are actually on Earth, don't watch that show Mountain Monsters then on the Travel Channel. You never see them. It's literally these rednecks running into the middle of the woods in West Virginia going, "Oh, we got the creature. Oh, he's up there," and the camera just does this. Oh, no.
They're hunting for Sasquatch, but I'm talking about like not the mountain monster. I'm talking about like paranormal caught on camera where you see the actual Sasquatch creature peeking from behind a tree. I'm not talking about things getting shooken up, and because you know what they say on mountain monsters. Hey, something moved our cameras.
Our cameras, catch that son of a bitch. Oh yeah.
Our cameras were not pointing in that direction. Something intelligent.
They were not. You're right.
And that's how a lot of these reality type shows operate. But there are the other shows which show you clear
Yay.
They're footage.
Yeah, right. My face again.
When it was frozen, I found your image.
Footage. That's like somebody with a foot fetish.
Sasquatch.
Footage. I take footage.
Well, yeah. That show's crazy. It's just like, I don't know. They go to some place and they interview some guy and he says, "Oh yeah, I saw the son of a bitch," and they go, "Oh damn, look at that footage on my phone, damn."
Speaking of, no, I'm telling you, not the reality show, but the other shows are the amount of clear, detailed video is increasing tremendously because everybody has great cell phones with high megapixel ability, and people are taking video more than ever before of anything unusual, and that includes extraterrestrials, whether it be that Sasquatch, whatever. The various Loch Ness monsters, or what they call them, plesiosaurs, in different lakes around the country, around the world. I mean, there's a lot of quality video out there now than ever before, and I just want to say, even though it's not related, there is a brown devil scorpion in the south in Tennessee. That is a small little brown scorpion. I had one time, and it stung me. The sting was powerful. There are no, and they exist as far north as Virginia. There's
I've not seen a scorpion around here, so
the brown devil scorpion, and they're
no, we don't have any around here. I mean, there have been no reported cases of them.
well, you're not looking for them,
Right?
you know.
Well, I mean, people think scorpions are not native to this part of Tennessee because this is a mountainous part of Tennessee. Now, if we were talking like Nashville, Memphis, possibly, maybe.
Or they're in Virginia.
Well, Virginia in itself is a very diverse terrain. Like, okay, so my two states, Tennessee, okay, Eastern Tennessee is very mountainous.
Ronnie S is here. Hi, Ronnie S.
And then Middle Tennessee is rolling hills. Eastern Tennessee is very flat. Now, it's the exact opposite in Virginia. Western part of Virginia is very mountainous. Now, Central Virginia is rolling hills. Eastern Virginia is flat because that's near the coast.
Right.
So, I've never heard of scorpions being the case in this mountainous part of Tennessee, and also I've never heard of scorpions ever really existing in Virginia as well.
Well, according to the Bug Guide website,
The bug guy.
Scorpion does
Right.
exist as far north as Virginia. That's the way Southern people say Virginia. Virginia. It's like
I've never heard them say Virginia. So.
it's like Alabama. You never heard Alabama before? Anyway, I digress. Maybe that's like an Al Jolson thing. I don't know. But anyway, they're around, and they pack a wallop when they sting you. Give me a minute. Give me a minute. Ronnie S. Why you have the link to join? Let me see if I still have the link. We're going off the air anyway, but oh no, I don't have the link. Well, it's on Alpha Males. If you're a member of Alpha Males, but anyway, we are doing Ronnie S. and Charlie. What the hell is it? Johnny Ringo. We are doing a very serious, progressive discussions, all kidding aside, Sunday night, because there's a lot to rant about, believe me, in this 2020 campaign. So anyway, it's getting late, plus I'm getting a tad bit hungry, and I want to wrap it up.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah, not that I have a wrap, not that I'm going to make a burrito, but I want to wrap the show up. So I'm going to cook some Alaskan pollock from Trader Joe's, and I'm going to toast some multi-grain organic bread and make a nice fish sandwich. So anyway, fish.
Something smells fishy in your fish sandwich agenda.
Damian Owens, what's going on here? Ronnie S. says, I'm an alpha male. I know he's an alpha male because he knows what the feminists are doing.
Exactly, but I will say this. Something is fishy in your fish sandwich excavation.
Well, it's what I like about the Trader Joe's pollock, Alaskan pollock, which is not to be confused with a pollock from Poland. It's a cheap version of a cod. It's in the cod family. Very cheap. Mrs. Paul's, Gorton's Fisherman, McDonald's, they all use pollock. There's very little batter. It's thin, so it's mostly fish. And there's nothing fishy about it because I make my own tartar sauce. It doesn't involve the tartar from your teeth, which is kind of disgusting when you think about
Tartar.
it. Tartar sauce. You want to learn something, folks out there? Mayonnaise, relish, and lemon juice. You want to make cocktail sauce for shrimp, horseradish, ground, horseradish paste, and ketchup. There's your what did I say it was? There's your cocktail sauce.
Yeah.
By the way, speaking of ketchup, they used to, when I was a kid, there was ketchup and there was catsup. Is there a difference between ketchup and catsup?
To my knowledge, no.
Yeah, I don't think anybody cares. Anyway, it tastes the same, by the way. Ronnie S., alpha male, bring your testosterone with you Sunday, but wait until I get done with my monologue because I won't be in a good mood Sunday when I do my monologue because of the DNC and Michael Bloomberg trying to buy the election. I'll leave it at that. Let's put it that way. It will be a humdinger of a monologue. Thomas Metal 75, I don't know where you are, but we are going bye-bye. So anyway, Damian Owens.
Yes, Damian Owens.
I know you're going to have a very busy, I hate to say it, in Saturday in the deli. And you're going to need a lot of rest.
Yes, I'm going to bed probably here in about an hour or so, but I have some stuff to do with the wifeykins.
Okay, but I'm saying tomorrow after your busy day, you're probably going to need a nice meal and maybe a malt liquor or something like that. And you're going, oh,
you better believe Sunday I'm going to get just as riled up as you are when it comes to this stuff.
What's up, James?
Because what I witnessed, how you doing, Ronnie S., what I witnessed in the South Carolina Democrat debate was definitely rigged, and I think
it was.
Mike Bloomberg has something to do with it, and maybe his contribution to the DNC and the scrawny bucktooth weasel Tom Perez collectively.
You know what I heard that it costs like $2,000 to get in there to watch the debate.
That's exactly what I'm going to talk about Sunday. That the regular common folk were not invited to that audience.
But they talk about, we're going to help the common people, the workers.
But guess what happened? Every time Michael Bloomberg said something,
he got applause. Yeah, it was a pro Bloomberg crowd.
Right,
Yeah,
pro capitalist, pro fat cat. He got applause every time Bernie opened his mouth.
they were booing Bernie. Yeah,
Boo! Yeah, that's what we're going to talk about Sunday. But at least you caught the tail end of our show live. Better late than never. And now, what's his name there? Thomas Metal 75 is drinking a lemonade.
is that a seltzer?
Yes and no, Ronnie.
Gin and tonic.
No, you are correct the first time. This is that light lemonade stuff. Simply Lemonade. They make that Simply orange juice stuff. Simply Lemonade, and I believe the brand is Granger Vodka.
Ooh. Oh.
There you go. I put the right amount in because I don't even taste the vodka.
An
I mean, I
infusion.
poured some vodka in. I know I did, but I can't even taste the vodka. This is really good. It's the lemonade. I forget what is it, 8 maybe ounces or maybe 12. There's only like 25 calories, but it's really good lemonade if you like just the standard color, not the pink varietal. And
It's a
that
nice
Granger
glass.
vodka.
It's a
I think they
hard.
bottled it in Boston, but it's like 40%. It's
It's a
actually
hard.
pretty good for not that much money.
It's like a Smirnoff. It tastes like a Smirnoff Ice. Like
Yes, yeah, I guess that's
Yeah.
what that's like. You ever have a Smirnoff Ice there, Ronnie?
Oh
Ronnie
yeah, man.
and
Had lots of those.
Jamie Owens?
But yeah, definitely it was obvious because I first learned about what happened in South Carolina from Crystal Ball, who was a
Mhm.
progressive show
Oh yeah, I watched that too on
in
YouTube.
California. Crystal Ball.
Yeah, I think I'm subscribed to that channel.
Yeah, she was a member of my Twitter account before the CEO terminated me for talking about Amy Klobuchar, or a bitch.
If you noticed on the debate, she kind of controlled her shaking a little better.
Hey, America's not ready for this. America's not going to accept this. She sounded just like Turtlehead, Mitch McConnell. Americans are not going to stand for this.
Look at me. I'm Mitch McConnell. I'm just going to be an obstructionist Republican in the Senate.
Yeah, you know what kills me? Wolf County, Kentucky. People are living in shacks, but they keep reelecting Mitch McConnell. Like Mitch has really done wonders, and I think they vote for him because of their cult. Because Democrats are baby killers, according to them.
Wolf County, is that where he's from? Is that what it's called?
Well, these are people living in shacks that vote for.
Shanty towns?
They vote
Shanty
for
towns, Hoovervilles.
don't really. They don't do anything for their standard of living.
Yeah.
They drink handles of vodka at $6 a handle. Mm-mm.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you know what amazes me is how Trump Eric
Be right back.
is able to get very exotic craft beers in New England. Just
Yeah, I
like
just drank a Trillium beer. We didn't even talk about that.
New England's got great beers.
Yeah.
just like Ronald J. Theriot gets the best bargains in Louisiana for the bank.
But every craft beer company known to mankind is running out of Louisiana.
Yeah.
Why is that?
I don't know. He claims that a lot.
Well, you got that. What's that company? I never had pecan beer, Lazy Magnolia out of Mississippi. I think it's called. Yeah, have you ever had that pecan flavor?
No. Why did Ron have that?
I think Ron says he had another company, not Lazy
I
Magnolia.
had a beer once from Clown Shoes Brewing Company. They put out every November around Thanksgiving. It was called Genghis Pecan.
It's pecan.
And it was like more like a pecan pie kind of dessert brown ale. It's pretty good though.
I haven't seen Hopticus. It's a hop with tentacles coming out of it.
Oh shit!
I never.
There you go.
No, it exists, but I've never seen it. It's called Hopticus. How clever!
Optical illusion. That's a good one.
Yup.
Optical. Now, Ronnie S is in a lovely area, Clearwater, Florida, suburb of Tampa.
It's west of Tampa.
Well, that means it's closer to the beach.
Yeah.
Yeah, be careful of those bull sharks. They're very.
Well, actually, so
Sorry, I had to go to the bathroom.
To get to Tampa, you got to cross over a bridge from Clearwater.
There's like a channel.
It's a peninsula within a peninsula. So Florida's a peninsula, and then the county that I'm in is a separate peninsula that's right on the Gulf.
Oh, you know what's interesting? Cancun is on what's called an isthmus. An isthmus is a strip of land that's either
like the isthmus of Panama.
It's connected to the mainland. It's a strip with a body of water on either side.
On both
Hmm.
sides, yeah.
Isthmus. Yeah. So the Caribbean's on one side, and there's a bay on the other side, with American crocodiles infested, and then you have the two. It's at the end of Yucatan, and then you have the two strips.
Yucatan.
Yucatan, not
Yucatan.
Yucatan. I'm thinking of all the. Oh my God, the stories I can tell. I was with my ex. They don't care if you're with a girlfriend or a wife. The girls are like, especially if they have a couple drinks in them, they're hitting on you. Like you could be with a chick. I'm telling you, these are American girls doing that.
Where is this?
Cancun.
Oh yeah, man. It's party
Yeah,
time.
look at me. I'm just like,
They don't care. They don't care.
Eric knows how to take great screenshots.
They ask you to dance. Look at that. Look.
That's a good one.
It's the Twilight Zone. It's Owens up top and down on the bottom.
That is actually my typical face if you were to see me out in public or just dealing with people, period.
Dealing with people, face.
Wait a minute. Why don't you give that to Owens so he can use that as an avatar?
Yeah.
That would be cool
Yeah,
because
just PM that to me.
that'll be a cool avatar because that's like, when he's had enough of the general public. Screw you. I hate your stinking guts. That's what that look says.
I hate your stinky.
I hate your stinking rotten guts.
Yeah.
Have
So,
you
yeah,
ever
I
heard
guess-
of Terrapin Brewery? Damien?
Yep, out of Georgia. I
Yeah, it's
believe.
out of Georgia. That's what I'm having now. I got an IPA from them.
Yeah, I've had the Terrapin. I think it was Terrapin coffee, something or another stout at a pizzeria that was down here,
Oh, yeah?
and
Nice.
it was like 9.4% ABV, but 50 IBUs. Paired very well with some Supreme pizza that I had from said pizzeria.
A stout
So,
with a pizza.
yes. Felt like I was more or less eating the beer than drinking it. But I can
Wow.
definitely tell we're all getting tired, we're getting hungry. So you all come down here to Tennessee. I guarantee you'll love our barbecue, you'll love our women, and you'll love our pro gun stance. And if you all want to, you come down this way, we'll get our guns together, we'll go to the range, we'll go shooting.
Well,
I'll
how,
come up that way.
how do you
There is Lord of the Rain.
now the women now are they like forget about the guns for 1 second. They can have all the guns in their purse they want.
They look like Carrie Underwood. Yeah.
Are the women very like assertive?
Assertive.
If they say what's on their mind,
They say fuck men.
and if no.
So in other words, are they feminists?
In other words, if they like a
Feminist? No.
man is her type. I don't care if she has a bazooka in her purse. If the man is her type,
Whoa.
are they the type to like let the man know that there's chemistry going on?
Yes. So women in Tennessee are a very interesting type of women. So a woman in Tennessee, I mean, they're going to be in touch with their masculine as well as feminine side. So don't be
That's the
so
sex drive, the masculine side. That's testosterone.
so don't be surprised if they come across as both at the same time. So don't be afraid if she has this exterior appearance of, she has her hair done, her makeup done, her nails done. But then yet, if an ideal date is getting down and dirty on a farm or just, going outdoors or doing something off-roading,
Pig wrestling?
you don't be surprised if that were to be her particular date. So in terms of assertingness,
You by the crotch. She'll grab you by the balls. In other words,
yes and no.
yes,
So like I said, they'll be in touch with both of their sides. they are assertive to a certain extent. They just kind of just say, you either accept me as I is, or you just don't. Plain
You
and
are
simple.
what I is. That was Frank Zappa. One of Frank Zappa's songs. You are what I is. Anyway, and it was a funny music video.
Sing it, James.
Yeah, it's Frank Zappa. It's a real funny song. But the thing is, it's on YouTube. Excuse me, I farted. Hold on. Oh. So anyway,
God. And also women being feminists in Tennessee. This part of Tennessee, no. Now maybe from like Chattanooga, Memphis, Nashville,
I like women.
maybe, but this part, forget it.
Well, in your part, they're not like real hardcore Tennessee women in your end, right?
Well, like I said, they're moderate. They're in touch with both sides.
You're up in the mountains.
Yeah, I'm in the mountains. I'm in the Appalachian Mountains near the Smoky Mountain Range.
Yeah, I like women that whatever's on their mind, they wear their emotions on their sleeve. If they like you, they go for it. Move ahead. Not too late to whip it. Whip it good.
Now, some of the best women you'll meet here in Tennessee is either at bars or at parties, or maybe at clubs if we have a club around here, which, to be honest, we really don't have that many clubs around here. I mean, yeah, we had some strip joints, but they just didn't work out.
They disappeared.
That and just, the moral majority is what little hold they have here just were the most vocal out of all the minorities and got them all shut down. But yeah, women here in Tennessee, they're not feminists. They speak what's on their mind. You either accept them as they are or you just don't. But if you want to meet them, you either meet them at bars, you either meet them at the club, or
that's
you just
probably
meet them
any
out in
state.
public.
That's petty for evangelicals to shut down go-go bars.
Yeah, come on.
I mean, come on. That's like shutting down sex shops and saying you can't sell dildos in our county. I mean, why don't they mind their own damn business?
Like I said, they have a little hold, but that little hold they have is slowly fading and fading and fading. Now, the other thing you'll also notice about Tennessee women is their accent. So, Tennesseans have a very distinct way of speaking.
Like Dolly Parton.
Well, depending upon how urban versus rural they are, like the biggest thing you'll notice around here, and you'll also notice if you've ever talked to me compared to when I lived in Virginia as compared to now, my accent and my way of speaking has actually changed a little bit because of my environment. But Tennessee women will actually put extra emphasis on the vowels, like particularly the I. So they'll say something like right, not, or something like that. So if you don't like the Southern accent, run far away from this as fast as possible.
As long as she's nice and she's not a gold digger and materialistic and she says what's on her mind, I'm fine with any accent.
No bra burners.
Yeah. I just don't like nasal twang, like Pam Drescher, the nan.
Oh my God.
like the penguin
from deep within New York City or something.
Right.
I can't deal with that nasal.
But another thing you'll potentially have to overcome with Tennessee women is, as I was saying, us Tennesseans, we like to drink, but then yet there are a lot of Tennesseans who don't know how to control their drinking and are backwoods hicks and are also very abusive. So if you deal with a Tennessee woman who has dealt with a man who has had severe drinking problems and has been in a very abusive relationship, you're going to have a lot of obstacles to overcome. So if you try to appear as though you're trying to get to third base on the first date, you're just going to have a lot of failed attempts right off the get-go.
It's the woman that decides how far a man's going to get. It's best not to validate her and let you know if there's chemistry or not. Why struggle? If you're going to get to third base, why struggle with anyone.
Right.
I mean,
Well, I'm just saying, how to win the heart of a Tennessee woman if you're
I'm more
going to.
interested in Tennessee barbecue than I am about booze. I like the dry rub, Memphis dry rub and the brisket and
Oh
the
yeah.
pulled pork and the baby back ribs and all that stuff. The hell with the alcohol. I want to eat.
Oh yeah, we've got plenty of good barbecue, like the one I told you about, Ridgewood Barbecue.
Yeah.
That is probably the best barbecue joint in this part of Northeast Tennessee. Until you go to like Chattanooga and Knoxville, unless you go there, you might find something better. But here in the Tri-Cities region, Ridgewood is the place to go.
I put that link on everything.
Lemonade vodka. Come on, people.
I put that link on Everything is Food, and those photographs look very good. Barbecue, Southern style, Tennessee.
Yep. And then also the last point, and then we'll go ahead and we'll call it a night. Is
it's over 3 hours. The show.
I'm just saying, but like, and
You're in your
also
watch time,
Tennessee
man.
woman, depending upon how they were raised or how their mothers or how their fathers were, you may have a woman with male issues or female issues,
Daddy issue?
depending, especially if you
Daddy
talk to a
issue.
Tennessee woman whose father was very overbearing or potentially abusive. That's going to be another obstacle.
Or an
to overcome.
evangelical.
Yeah, like an evangelical overbearing father type. If you run into a woman who had someone like that as a father,
With a drinking problem.
Especially with a drinking problem, who is very abusive in a variety of different ways, good luck.
Well, they're very. What was that? Is that a rooster chasing?
No, I know my wife was.
It's not like a rooster chasing the hen.
No, she was showing me something to exacerbate my point, and she did it perfectly.
What was I going to say about not about barbecue? Oh, about the evangelical overbearing Faja, like Austin Powers. I am your Faja. She's going to rebel. She's going to rebel against him, and she's going to be more sexually promiscuous because of her father.
It's all his fault.
No.
Yeah, but that's a good Faja because the Faja makes her sort of a slut. That's good because then whatever money you spend on a date, you're going to get restitution for your investment. You know what I mean, Jelly Bean?
More bang for your buck.
More bang for the buck.
So yeah, come on up or come down to Tennessee. I guarantee you, we'd love to have you on. I guarantee you'd have a great time here.
I want to eat barbecue. That's my main objective.
So when are we going, James?
And fried chicken. Fried, like Chinese people say, fried rice, fried. Well, I definitely have free time. Thomas Meadow has a little bit of free time because he's got a band.
Oh, he's doing the band thing.
Well, it's
Maybe
not
you can go on tour to Tennessee.
We'll see. Ooh,
I
Tennessee.
try to get pro wrestling into the huge church next door. They're too high. They're too high. They're too religious to accept bingo or pro wrestling. I would have loved to book this guy's band, Oxblood Forge, to play for a TV tape professional wrestling event. That would be fantastic.
Where do you do it, James?
We've done many shows, but you know what shows we did? This church has a huge auditorium, Ronnie. Yes, I mean with a high ceiling, which is great for pro wrestling. It's huge.
Is it a Catholic school?
It looks like a high school gym. They have a kitchen. They have a kitchen where they can cook food, sell hot dogs, and jumbo pretzels to people that come that buy tickets. The priest, I tell him half a dozen times, shrugs his shoulders. What do you know how they try to make money? They have bake sales and they try to sell tchotchkes, knickknacks. I said, you're
Yeah.
not gonna make any money selling that shit.
Yeah.
How are you gonna fix things in the building? By selling fucking apple pies and blueberry pies and muffins and I mean, you know what it is? They put their God in a box. They think that their God has no sense of humor, is not open-minded,
Yeah.
and
God might like professional wrestling.
crap. You know how much money? You know how many tickets?
What would you charge at the door?
Usually, with house shows, they charge like around $12 a ticket. But I have a promoter who's Hispanic, who can get people from the Bronx, the bridge, from Hudson County, right down the street. All the Latin people from Hudson County and the Bronx can come over. We'll pack the place. They don't see the potential
Yeah, it's there.
in the money that they could raise for the church.
Definitely there.
Minded that they put God in a little box, and they think God has no and he's not open-minded. He's stuffy.
I've gone to a local wrestling show at a firehouse before.
There you go.
They do it.
Firehouse is a good thing. Sometimes they have very high ceilings.
Yeah.
You could do a
I
great.
saw D'Lo Brown. I saw Val Venus.
There you go. There's a lot of wrestlers that live in Florida, especially the Tampa area.
Well, this was back up in Long Island.
Oh, okay. No, oh yeah, they do house shows. Eric, I guess wrestling is not his cup of tea. That's all right. We're over 3 hours. I'm hungry.
All right. So yes, that you are James Madonna. I'm Damian Owens. That is Ronnie S. And wifey, who is it you wanted to introduce?
You.
Now, does she know?
John Cena.
John Cena.
Does your wife know about the common houseplant known as the mother-in-law's tongue?
Yes, I have told her about that, and we all had huge laughs about it. And
all the doctors' offices have them.
Remember when I told you about the mother-in-law's plant, about how your mom is driving me and you both up the fucking wall and driving us insane? Yeah, we should get a mother-in-law's plant and be like, oh, that's the mother-in-law's tongue. Remember I was talking about that? And she just kind of was like, and just kind of just goes off and just ignores.
Plant behind Damien when he does the show, and then we can crack jokes about the plant throughout the show. So, hey,
Which
Ma,
plant?
hey, mother-in-law's tongue. So, hey, Ma. Hey, I see you in the back. How you doing, Ma?
Yeah, I told her about that, and I reminded her, and she was like, oh. See, a lot of times whenever me and her run past ideas, either I create or she creates, we kind of just go, because here's one thing we've learned about each other. See, we're a lot alike, and which is why we get along perfectly fine, but when we have an argument or a fight, it's not so good. But we've also learned not to encourage each other, especially when we have bad or evil thoughts. Because if either one of us laughs at the other one's idea, it just encourages the other one to do it that much more.
Well, you know what the best part about the plant is when if your mother-in-law asks you, what kind of plant is that? And you tell that's the best part about having the plant.
Yeah, but I would take it one step further. So, and besides that, I've looked around here in my area for that particular plant. Nobody has it.
Home
At least right now.
Home Depot.
Yes, I did, and they do not have it right now.
Lowe's. Try Lowe's.
It's so common.
Yes, I even tried Lowe's. Still doesn't have it right now. They said check back again in like March or April when we get more of a spring selection.
Okay.
I think they're right
It's a
because
little cold right now.
they're blown. Yeah, their inventory is just they're letting it dwindle because it's not the spring shipment hasn't come in yet. But when it comes in, it's gonna come in big time. The spring shipment, big. You're gonna see big mother-in-law's ton. And the good thing is they're low maintenance. They take abuse. You know, you can forget to water them and for a month can go by and they still look good.
Oh, don't remind me.
You can call it, name it your mother-in-law's first name. Put like get some masking tape or duct tape and write and Sharpie her name right on the pot. I mean, you can have a field day with this thing. But it's yeah, all the doctors' offices, restaurants, everybody gets them because they're too fucking lazy to take care of a plant like like a really exotic house plant. Like nobody wants to bother. That's why they get them. Like I have exotic plants that have special care, so but I'm around to take care of them.
So I got to thinking of an idea. So if you want to see just how much me and my wife are alike, how about she join us in one of our progressive discussions one night?
Well, I tell you what. Let me get rid of let me end the monologue and rant, and then you can do anything you like. You can once I'm done with the rant, bring her on. And if she wants to,
So is the progressive discussion always on Sunday night?
well, because it's Damien's free time at 10:30 p.m.
Yeah.
It's
Well, what about Friday night? Tonight.
Tonight I'm tired, man.
It's Friday. I mean, earlier. I'm saying earlier in the evening.
Because I do something with Jay. I do Fandango but sometimes Jay's not available.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe Sunday. Maybe he has more free time on a Sunday night.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's fine. I was just asking.
Maybe he's doing it because he has free time at least by 10:30 p.m. Like tonight, he's supposed to do gaming with his wife. He's supposed to play.
Yeah, that's one thing me and her have in common as gamers. But I'll just go ahead and tell you a little bit about my wife. So she's like a female version of me. And if you think I have a bad mouth or I just tend to just kind of just let things come out of my mouth, she's a lot worse.
I don't think you have a bad mouth.
She thinks it. She kind of just says it, but she says it in a much more comedic and humorous way.
Well, she could curse, but she has to realize that when we're live, I don't have any censorship on the show, so whatever opinions are said are said. And she has to realize it's an open discussion, a free exchange of ideas and opinions. There's no
free speech.
It's not like where with other shows, if somebody is right wing and very, very religious, they might not appreciate the candid discussion. But when I do something, everything it's all hanging out. I mean, it hangs out.
Well, she's spiritual but not religious. She's independent, leaning left. So, but you'll notice she's like a female version of me. We have a lot of similar interests, but if you think I'm bad for calling bullshit, she's actually a lot worse.
Like for instance, I was raised in a Catholic family, but I have an open mind. I believe that we might be one big extraterrestrial experiment. We don't know that. It's possible. It's possible that the races were planted here by extraterrestrials. But then again, I grew up in a Catholic environment, but I still have an open mind.
Right. Well, you can thank her overbearing parents for the way that she is. So,
So, it's like, but, the thing is that she knows it's a live show and she's sitting next to you and she's hanging out with us. That's fine. But if somebody doesn't want to be a part of the live show and they try to sabotage the live show, that's a whole nother story. But she's not going to do that because she's going to be next to you.
right.
Sabotage. Who would do that?
Sometimes family members don't respect the man cave.
Mother-in-law. What?
The man cave, if you know what I mean. Like,
Right.
Let's say a Damian Owens has certain hobbies and interests. Let's say that certain Damian Owens is doing a review on something.
Yeah.
He's on video and somebody is not respecting what he's doing. Bada bing.
Do you do beer reviews?
Bada
Damien?
boom. Yeah, I want to start him up again. So
He's doing it.
yeah, and also one other thing about my wife is she does, believe it or not, she actually does more research about a particular subject or an idea than what I do.
That's great.
And she is what you would call gender fluid. So she herself, she's in touch with her masculine and feminine side, but she can present herself in a very feminine and also a very masculine way, depending. So if she presents herself as a little overly feminine or a little overly masculine, don't be surprised.
Well, I hope she realizes that these shows are also recorded.
Right.
She has to understand that it's not just a live show, that they're recorded. So, Thomas Middle said, I gotta head out. Night, y'all. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't even see that. All right. Good night, Thomas Metal 75.
Y'all.
Yeah, you gotta realize
Is that
that.
how they talk in Massachusetts?
Yes, you gotta realize that whatever is said or whatever she's wearing or whatever she does, that's it, baby. I'm not taking the show off the air. I mean, I'm not
Right.
So she has to realize what she's getting into. When
She dresses like me. She dresses very modest, so she's not very provocative in her way of dressing.
I don't mean that, but the show is not going to be taken off the air. It's recorded, so she has to be willing to not say, "Oh, tell James to take the show off the air."
Nah, she don't say stuff like that.
I don't like what I said about something, right?
Like this one, Damien?
Oh, hold on. Let me see what Ronnie has got. Hold on. What you got, Ronnie? Trappist?
Terrapin.
No, Terrapin.
Terrapin. Oh,
This one is called
IPA.
Up High IPA.
Oh, does that mean it has a high?
Hopped up high, so it's hoppy.
Oh, it's high. It's hoppy. Oh, cool.
I bought a 12-pack of Terrapin called the IPA Survival Kit.
Oh, and what is your opinion of the flavor?
It's high. I mean, I haven't had this one yet.
Oh,
You guys can talk. I just wanted to show you. I'm not going to do like a beer review.
But yeah, just don't be surprised if she does present herself in a certain way. So, I mean, she knows everything.
Does she know more than you?
Depends.
Well, you know,
Is she a wrestling fan?
wrestling.
Yes, actually, she is. She's a huge Undertaker fan.
Now,
I don't think Undertaker's coming to WrestleMania this year.
well,
I haven't heard anything.
he's getting up in years, you know.
He usually comes out for WrestleMania though.
She loves Undertaker. She loves Stone Cold Steve Austin. So
What about John Cena?
Oh, just don't.
yeah, I mean, you're not here. She's with John Cena.
So John Cena was on SmackDown tonight, and he
What, babe?
I saw that. I was watching.
did you see that?
Yeah, I was
Did you
watching.
see it?
He was He was going on. He was shoveling so much shit about the WWE. Oh boy,
Oh, that's his thing. That's what he does.
I'll always be a WWE.
So he's gonna fight. He's gonna fight Bray Wyatt at WrestleMania now.
Yeah.
The Fiend.
Oh,
Bray
by the way,
Wyatt.
Goldberg, right, is going to face Roman Reigns.
Oh, is he really?
Yeah, he beat Bray Wyatt. He beat the Fiend.
Goldberg beat him. I didn't watch that Super Show.
And he has the Universal title, I believe, and he's going to wrestle.
Well, Goldberg has the title now.
Well, the Fiend had the Universal title.
Yeah, all right. So Goldberg beat him for the title. That's
Yeah,
fine.
now it's him and Roman Reigns at WrestleMania.
Okay.
I like it. I still like AEW. They're getting better and better.
Yeah, I was watching it when it first came on. I haven't been following it lately though.
Watch it next
Wednesday.
It's gotten a lot better. It really has. It's like a combination of the old Paul Heyman ECW with the territory days of like UA. Yeah.
So Paul Heyman is in charge of the creative for Raw now.
Oh, is he really?
Yeah, he's been since last summer.
You know, Paul Heyman's ECW promos I heard were done in his mother's basement in like Scarsdale, New York.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, you would never know it. You know, that's the beauty of setting up the cameras and having
the
right background. You never know where it's. Like he used to do the Hammerstein Ballroom and right?
In the Hammerstein Ballroom, that's where Raw first started. The first, I think, in '93, the first year they were live out of the Hammerstein Ballroom.
Not Madison Square Garden.
No, it wasn't Madison Square Garden. It was Hammerstein.
Hammerstein. Wow.
It was if you watch the old ones, you can see the theater seats and everything. It wasn't at MSG, no.
Tommy Dreamer is a hell of a nice guy. I had a long talk with him in the locker room. He was trained by Johnny Roz at Gleason's gym.
Johnny Roz was a good wrestler.
So was Taz. You know Johnny Roz?
Taz was too, yeah.
He trained.
So was the Dudley Boys.
He trained the Dudleys.
Mm-hmm.
He trained Tommy Dreamer, Taz. He trained a lot of people.
Johnny Rods. If you watch his old matches from like the early '80s, he's good. But he was always like what they call a jobber. They never really let him win.
Well, he was. You know what? There were the jobbers like Paul Figueroa and
Brooklyn Brawler.
Well, there were the jobbers that didn't look so great. They weren't that built, and they used to really get the shit kicked out of them. Then there was the mid cards, Johnny Roz, Paul.
He was kind of the mid card, yeah.
Yeah, which I knew. What's his name? Jimmy Powers. I knew personally. He was a bouncer at the club I used to go to. Jimmy Powers, Paul Roma, Jose Estrada.
Paul Roma was a big guy.
Yeah, they were mid cards. They never had titles.
No.
But they looked great. And sometimes they had to lose, to people that weren't as well built as them.
Yeah. Like Jesse Ventura or somebody.
I tell you, that's another guy that put out champions. Vern Gagne from the AWA.
Yeah. Yeah. That's where Hulk Hogan came from.
Trained Hogan, Jimmy Snuka, Ricky Steamboat,
Bobby Heenan was there too.
Bobby Heenan, Ric Flair.
Not Ric Flair. Ric Flair wasn't in the AWA.
No, yes, he was. Check it out. He was fat. I mean, he was a power lifter, but he was heavy.
Ric Flair was in the AWA?
Yeah, he was
before the NWA?
300 pounds. He was bloated.
Really?
The early Ric Flair before
I didn't know that.
Before he became the Nature Boy Ric Flair, he was bloated.
kind of like Goldust, like his son, kind of fat,
He was
right?
fat, but he was built. He was a powerlifter, and he was a college football player. And
Ric Flair was a football player. I didn't know that.
and he was going to quit pro wrestling school. He was going to quit everything, and Vern Gagne forced him not to quit. And if it wasn't for Vern Gagne, it wouldn't be Nature
But
Boy.
you know, the problem with Vern was that he wouldn't put the title on Hogan, and so eventually that's why Hogan left.
Hogan went to Japan, and Vern Gagne had a problem with. He wanted Hogan to send him money because
Yeah,
he claimed Hogan was still under contract with AWA, but Hogan claimed, no, my contract ran out. I can go anywhere I want.
but he also wouldn't give him the title.
That's true. Nick Bockwinkel had the title most.
I think Vern said that he would only let like real like amateur trained wrestlers be the champion.
Be right back.
Yeah, Billy Robinson was a fantastic.
I'm not totally sure, but I mean that's what brought down the AWA, because if Hogan stayed there, imagine if he made Hogan the champion in the early '80s. The AWA would have stuck around.
That would have been a fantastic business move. Vern Gagne, like the catch wrestlers, like the old Lou Thez, Strangler Lewis, the guys that actually can put you in submission holds, like jiu-jitsu, like MMA. But the problem was that Americans would not sit through a long sign.
They would, but once they got a smell of Hulkamania, that's what all they wanted to see.
Well, that's why they called it wrestling, because the gimmick, like Gorgeous George Wagner, Nature Boy Buddy Rogers, people want to be entertained.
Yeah, I mean that's why you watch SmackDown, right? You want to be entertained.
I mean, for them to sit through an hour-long scientific wrestling match between two really trained wrestlers is boring to Americans. Yeah. They want to be entertained, and they want the heel versus the baby face, and that's why you had people like from Gorgeous George.
And you know, Bob Backlund in the WWF, he was a trained wrestler. He didn't want to lose to Hulk Hogan, so that's why he lost to the Iron Sheik.
Well, Bob Backlund,
in 80, I think it was December of '83, he lost the title to the Iron Sheik, and then Hogan won it a month later. So Iron Sheik was a transition champion, because Backlund didn't want to drop the title to Hogan because he wasn't a trained wrestler, but the Sheik actually was.
No, Iron Sheik had a gold medal in the Pan Am Games in Greco-Roman wrestling.
Yeah, exactly.
Bob Backlund was a college wrestler,
right?
Like Brock Lesnar. They came from a college wrestling background. But what happened was that the Vince McMahon Sr. made a promise to bring in an all-American boy image like Bob Backlund, even though the fans were really getting to love superstar Billy Graham.
Yeah, superstar Billy Graham is the original showman, right? Hogan.
He had so much pizzazz and charisma. The fans even though he was a heel, managed by the Grand Wizard of Wrestling, Ernie Roth, they loved him because he had so much charisma.
It was different. It was a different kind of thing.
But Vince Sr. made a promise for some reason to bring Bob Backlund in from the NWA, to bring him into the WWF and have him drop the title. And you know, let's face it, Bruno was shot. His back was killing him from getting.
But he'd been going for like 20 years by that time.
Yeah, but you know what happened? The old wrestlers, they didn't have the same ring they have today.
No, it was harder, right?
They had the old boxers ring that was hard.
Yeah. And
it did a lot of damage, and they used to get slammed outside on the concrete floor.
Yeah. Bruno, do you remember the days when like Bruno Sammartino was the big thing? Everybody loved him.
Well, because of all the Italian Americans in the Northeast.
Well, yeah. Did you watch it back then?
I watched the documentaries on Bruno. Sure.
Did you watch it though? Actually, at the time.
No. Well, I watched 2 or 3 documentaries on the life of Bruno Sammartino since he was a kid in Abruzzi, Italy, came over. His whole story.
Yeah, so you didn't watch like the WWF when you were a kid?
Oh, sure I did. Well, I'll tell you when I first started. I was in 8th grade. It was the early 1970s when Pedro Morales
Oh, Pedro was the
beat Ivan Koloff,
okay.
Captain Lou Albano, and held the title for a certain amount of
A
time.
couple of years, I think.
Yeah, and then he
But then
dropped.
Superstar Billy Graham won, right?
No. What happened was Bruno was full of aches and pains and injuries. He wanted a break, so Vince Senior wouldn't let him go for a while because he was making big money for Vince in the Worldwide Wrestling Federation.
Yeah.
Now he decided, okay, Bruno says, I've had it. I need a break. So he dropped the belt to Russian Bear Ivan Koloff, and then Koloff dropped the belt
To Pedro
Morales, because at that time, a lot of Puerto Ricans were moving to New York.
Yeah.
As a business move, dropped it to Pedro. Pedro had it for
It's smart. It was smart, right?
He had it for, yes, it was. He had it for a few years. What happened was the Puerto Ricans were getting violent in the parking lot. There were stabbings and shootings and shit. And Vince Sr. says, I got to do something about this, but I don't want Pedro to drop the belt to Bruno because he wanted to bring Bruno back. He made him a good offer. So he had him drop the belt to Stan the Man Stasiak.
That's right. Yeah, Stan the Man.
Stan the Man.
He's the father of Sean Stasiak.
Right.
And he wanted Bruno to beat Stasiak. He wanted to have the heel lose to the babyface. He didn't want to have babyface lose to another babyface. Bruno against.
Yeah. So
So
Stan the Man was a transition champion.
He was a short transition.
Yeah.
Bruno got it back. He kept it for a few years or so.
And then did he lose to Superstar Billy Graham?
Lost to Billy Graham at the Baltimore Civic Center. And then Billy Graham had it for a while, but people love Billy Graham.
And he was the first heel that was the champion for a long time.
The first heel that was champion for a long time, beating a lot of people, and the fans loved them. They loved them. They loved them. Just like people love to hate the Iron Sheik, but they love Billy Graham more.
And Billy Graham was cool. He had the pizzazz.
He had everything.
Right.
He had the promos. He did the interviews.
He was the first one that brought that stuff around.
Jesse Ventura was a riot up in the AW. Adrian Adonis, when Jesse Ventura started in the AWA, his promos were funny.
Like Jesse Ventura got a lot of his stuff from Billy Graham.
Yeah, I'll see you Sunday night, James.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm gonna wrap. You know what? Let's wrap it up. So that's what happened. Billy Graham, Bob Backlund. He promised Backlund. Blah blah blah. The rest is history. But we'll talk about it another time.
Yeah, we should do a wrestling night.
That's not a bad idea. Wrestling and beer.
Wrestling and booze.
Okay. All right, everybody. It's been a pleasure. It's like over 3.5 hours.
Right.
Believe it or not. And so long. I'm hungry. I gotta